Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another, well, not even another, actually another crossover show in the SCCU, the Sarcasm City Cinematic Universe. You lot be asking for the crossovers in regards to podcast and can this podcast go on with this podcast, etc., etc. And yesterday we had the Arsenal Yardman podcast. Salute to all of the madmen that was involved in that because it was a madness. Big up to Lex, big up Kaneki, big up Don C, big up TJ, big up Tony, big up to everyone that was locked in for that. But this one here is the Manchester City Bayesian edition, people. So we got obviously Mandem City representative Vader will be here shortly, and the two Bayesian representatives, obviously from Bayesian Reds TV, Barnes and Pops, are in the building. Well, Pops will be here shortly. Barnes is already here. We're here slightly earlier, but keep all your questions Manchester City or Liverpool related. It isn't going to be as I don't think it's going to be as mad and as high energy as the one yesterday, but there's a lot going to be said because these are two people, these are two shows who have gone back and forth, like Barnes and Pops. I see them in the comments a lot on the Manchester City show when I'm doing the show with Vader, and vice versa when I'm doing Bayesian Reds. You know what Vader's like, proper wind-up merchant, proper gubernatorial. You already know. Make sure you subscribe to both of them though, Vader Games TV and Bayesian Reds TV. Links are in the title. Big up to everyone who's joined over from the raid on Saeed's channel as well. Much appreciated. Big up to everyone that was already here. But when you enter the city of sarcasm, hit the like button, people. When you enter the city, make sure you pay the tax, pay the toll, run up the likes. So hit that like button on the video, whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back. Share across all the socials at That's Me Flawless, at Sarcasm City TV on all socials. You see both people. And on top of those two things, make sure you subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. Hit that notification bell as well. You already know, man. Even Gatorade is Vatorade. Yeah, 110%. Big up Jonas, Stephanie G, JT, Kingsman, Kaneki already saying, let's see Vader gaslight himself out of this. 3099 saying, what a shite week. What happened to Liverpool? That's a shite week. What happened? What did I miss? Make sure you subscribe to Bayesian Reds TV as well. And let me bring Barnes. He's in the building. Yes, Barnes, what are you saying, man? You good?
I'm good, brother. You good?
Yeah, man. All blessed. I'm all blessed, man. What did I miss? Why is it a shite week for you lot? What happened? What did I miss?
Referring to being out the Champions League and
okay.
Not winning the cup.
Yeah.
That was last week, yeah, but it still continued to this week because we ain't had a football this week. You know what I mean?
So, yeah. I thought something had happened. I don't know. Like Van Dijk had said, like, all right, I'm leaving, or something like that. Or Salah confirmed leaving. That's the way that he said that. I thought,
but you know what you're saying? Like, we had a nice last game. Stevie G, like he got it. I ain't gonna lie. I see my man spraying passes, opening up gaps. I was like, not even Sabozlai and the man can do that stuff, man. I was like, Stevie G, they need to sign you on a 10-day contract. We got to do it. Bring a 10-day contract, or he gets a 4-month contract. That'd be a little medal. You know, 5 game medal. Stevie G gave medal. You know what I mean?
But I said, run it back, Stevie G, man. Run it back to the end of the season, yeah. A little 2-month contract, and bring him back in. I hear you. But big up to everyone tapped in, man. Big up everyone tapped in. I know I've been doing less content because it's international break, people. This next coming week, you'll get some content, get some more content. I know you lot have been asking me. Someone asked yesterday about, a couple people asked yesterday about international break and my thoughts on international week. So you lot get a couple Q&As during the week, obviously before the Premier League's back. Well, FA Cup's back first, so FA Cup being back, Premier League, etc., and all that good stuff. Don't worry though, people. Vader will be here shortly, as will Pops as well. But Barnes, will go to you. You know what? We'll start Liverpool. Van Dijk been linked with PSG. Thoughts on that?
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of rumors going on around there. Right?
1 second, Barnes. I think your connection. Is it just for me, or is Barnes' connection moving dodgy? Let me know in the chat, please, people. I think your connection.
Is my connection moving dodgy?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. You lot, let me know in the chat if it's just me. Let me know. It could be Barnes. It could be me. All right, let me know in the chat.
Let me know, guys. Let me know. I'm gonna fix that up.
Burn up the likes and the subscribe button. Yeah, JJ saying. Who was it? Is it moving mad? All right, cool. It's better now. Yeah, go on, Barnes. Go on.
As anybody that's saying anything in terms of his contract situation, lying.
Nah, it's moving mad. Hey, Barnes, jump back in, and it should clear it up.
And we do that.
Back in. Yeah, no stress. It's all good. Look at his Avi, man. It is outrageous, yo. Look at his Avi 20 incoming. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Look at me, yo. I ain't got a comb. I lost my comb. Look at my beard. This shit looks mad. Well, we move. Let's see what else you and you lot get any. Obviously, even though it's Manchester City Bayesian crossover, any United questions because there's news in regards to us. Feel free to get in. You know what I'm saying? Feel free. And Barnes is just literally just sorting out his connection. But you know, everyone's favorite fraud is here, man. You know what I'm saying? Selling Gatorade to the people. Probably my personal favorite City fan, actually. I do prefer him to Jan City. So he's personally my favorite Manchester City fan. One of my personal favorite people to work with as well. My life Vader's in the building. Yes, Vader, what are you telling me?
Yo, what
are we saying?
Listen. Happy to be on the show. Your favorite fraud is wild. That's wild, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? Because you do it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're fraudulent, but you're like a heel wrestler, like a bad guy wrestler, but it's like, right, I rate what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not supposed to like the heel, but you do. Like, that's what it is. Because your wind-up methods are expert level.
Okay.
It's brilliant. Like, occasionally you get me and I'm like, yo, it's Vader. Remember who you're talking to. That's what it is.
I appreciate it. You know what? I got thrown off with the fraud part because I think as much as I'm a wind up, I use very good information. I back my information properly. So a fraud really is using could be misleading and fraudulent info.
Nah, you troll with the truth. That's why I call you a fraud. Okay, you troll with the truth. Yeah, that's where it is. You already know. Like, that's it.
Now listen, this
first side. I was just reading behind you. Oh, is it the four? Yeah. It's the four. This the four titles. Okay, nah, it's because Kaneki said this, so I didn't know if it was something new because I'd seen that before. That's all. That's all. I didn't know if it was something new, but obviously I've seen that before, so I already knew.
Yeah. Listen. What? I didn't want to throw anything new into the mix. I didn't want to throw anything into the wrinkle. What people have grown accustomed to, right? This Mandem, you know what I mean? When we do the City United thing, I want to be consistent. I want people to know the what we've been establishing for the shows now. It's on point. The new wrinkles, we'll have to wait and see what information comes out. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Yo, what it do, man?
We got Barnes, Vader, Barnes. You already know. Carry on, Vader. Go on.
I'm just saying we gotta be consistent with what we do. So I'm gonna bring a little bit of spice that obviously we link up with when we have the show. My Bayesian brethren are gonna bring over their spice as well, and we're gonna have a proper cook up right now. So good to see you, Barnes. What it do?
No. I'm good, bro. You good?
I'm all right.
You enjoying the Canadian weather or what?
It's starting to warm up a little bit.
Agreed.
But,
a little.
Yeah. But
we got snow tomorrow, though, bro. We got snow coming tomorrow.
I hope it doesn't stick. That's my whole thing. I hope it doesn't stick. But
me too.
We're good. You know what? I got my heavy coat. I didn't put anything away, so I'm ready for the weather regardless. And hey, I'm happy because March breaks over. My kids are back to school, so my schedule is going to be a lot more lax. But yeah, man, good to see you.
Good to see you too, bro.
But Barnes here, we was talking about it, so we'll go back to that before we continue with the show as well. We'll kick it off properly. Van Dijk linked to PSG. Your thoughts on it? And actually, we'll get Vader's thoughts on that after. Actually, I'm sure he's got plenty to say on it. So yeah, go on, Barnes. Floor's yours.
I don't believe in anything. First said nobody. Anyone says anything, the line I believe in my captain. Straight goods.
First. I was saying that's a staunch defense of him. Go on, Vader. I know you got plenty to say, so the floor is yours.
Listen, I'm a man that likes to just sit back and observe.
Yeah, I know.
I've been observing the situation for a while now, and I think Van Dijk came out with quotes and said, "Unless it's coming out of my camp, don't believe a thing." You know what I mean? There's no deal that FSG have presented to me. And obviously, he hasn't spoken about anyone else that are suiting him. However, Barnes, that could not have looked good after that PSG exit locker room with looked like a long, friendly conversation over there with the PSG owner. You know what I mean? It didn't look good. It didn't look good in terms of you just exited out. PSG just knocked you out, and you're having a comfortable conversation with one of the men over there. So I don't know. I think he's going to say the right things. He is your captain. You don't want to throw any grease onto the fire while the season's still going. But I'd be worried, man. I'd be worried.
You'd be worried? I'm not worried.
Are you not worried because you're accustomed to like your good players leaving?
Yeah, I know how my ownership is moved. So he's not lying, man. I got FSG's owners, bro. Abundant, man.
Now, are you a fan of FSG though? You think they do a tremendous job over there?
They do. Barnes.
They're fantastic businessmen. I'll give them that.
Okay.
In terms of football ambition and ambitious owners and spend, the what list is hell. I ain't gonna care what list.
Barnes, don't do this.
Don't come with that. You can't win the Champions League and then turn around and give me some scrubs and say, hey, we gonna open the war chest and you give me Nat Phillips and then type of man them in a summer transfer. What are you doing?
Okay, that was wrong. That okay.
And then we had no center backs, bro. Everybody get Brecker. And then man go and give me Kabak and a Ben Davies, a hologram as two backups, and we trying to defend a prem title. These men what list, bro? They're what list?
You know what? This is
they're worse than Marshall Montano, bro.
No. See, now you're doing too much. Now you're
no.
Listen,
they're walking up bad.
Barnes, hold on. Before FSG, it was Gillette, right?
Gillette, man, horrendous owners.
Horrendous. Now, if we take a step back, all right, you're at the top of the hill right now. You're looking down. You see Flawless. He's back in the darkness. He's not in the bright studio tonight. You're looking down. You're seeing what Flawless is going through. 10+ years.
Just to clarify, you see where I'm at has no bearing on Manchester United. Just to clarify, you know.
What do you mean?
Because you know what it is? It's because I'm a good brother. I'm a good uncle. So when you see me in the light studio, I'm at my sister's. I'm looking after my niece. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify this, you know what I'm saying? I'm a noble character. Just to clarify, this guy makes out, all the time, like it has like United play and I go to that studio. Or if United are playing badly, I'm here all the time. No, like
I've noticed a coincidence. That's all. I noticed when things.
Maybe that's the footballing universe smiling down on me. There it is. That's what it is.
All right, Chad. Everybody.
That being said, you this season you've been in a lot more darkness, but that's a whole different conversation.
I have been. It's been a difficult season for me.
It's very super difficult. We know. We've watched the struggle.
Listen, I'm a
what
lot
was
calmer.
it? Wasn't it 94 points? Wasn't it?
94 points.
Yeah, wasn't it 94? 86. Wasn't it 86?
We were talking about when you were still holding out hopes of the title, them faint hopes. This was a few months back.
Listen. I don't really look. I never really looked at the points thing like that. You know what I mean? Like I was just looking at the proximity between me and Arsenal, and then the possibility, always listening to the shows and hearing that there might be a slip, there might be some issues. I was optimistic. Was I overly hopeful? No, but I was optimistic. But going back, the reason why I got to challenge Barnes a little bit, I got to challenge those that are like FSG are scum or before FSG. Obviously, it was 30-something years before a title was won, right? FSG come through, they deliver you one, all right? I'm not even going to talk about the year or whatever happened, but they delivered you one. In 5 years, and when I say you're at the top of the hill looking down, Flawless is going on 10+ years. Arsenal are going on 2 decades, right? You're looking at Spurs with their ownership and what they're dealing with. You're looking at Chelsea, and I know they had their owner kicked out from owning Chelsea, but we're looking at the run with regards to winning this, and 1 in 5. That's not bad, Barnes. That's bad.
Not acceptable. I'm Liverpool, bro.
But okay,
I'm not City. I'm Liverpool.
But you're getting 1 in 5 when
no, that's still not acceptable.
1 in 10, 11.
And 1 in 10 is not acceptable for us. Just to
brother, Vader, listen.
So what do you want? Hold on, Barnes. What do you want? You want a Prem title every what? Let me
I
hear
want Prem
your
title every 2-3 years, bro.
Oh
I want
my
Prem title.
goodness.
I stingy. You know I selfish?
That's
I like
crazy.
everything.
That's crazy.
No, because I'll tell you something. If they were more ambitious owners, right? 3 of your titles you would not have had if they had just did proper signings.
Whoa. No, you're doing too much now.
No, I'm not, because you beat me by 1 point, you beat me by 2 points.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
true. You wouldn't have had them if they'd have done well in transfer windows. We would have had better players.
Is a better player worth 1 or 2 points? I hear it still. I hear that. That's a valid.
I'm telling you.
So
we have not signed one player in 2 years. I ain't counting Chiesa, okay?
Yeah.
Our last transfer window of signing a player was the McAllister midfield rebuild. That's 2 summers ago.
Yeah, that was McAllister, Szoboszlai.
That was
Gakpo.
2 summers ago. That wasn't last summer. That was the summer before.
Yes,
I signed no one since then. None.
Okay, but this is where you're being greedy, though, Barnes. This
No,
is where you're being. Yes. You're a greedy man. You're a greedy man. I can tell already.
I'm a tell already, bro. We licorice. You don't understand that. We lick.
We licorice.
Come on, man.
Now let me tell you. Let me tell you, because you talked about after winning and your owners not spending. I hear it all the time. I want owners like Manchester City. I want owners like. You know what we did after we won our 4P? Barnes, you know what we did? Right.
Nothing.
So it happens. It's not a reflection of owners not being ambitious. Sometimes, as much as you guys spent 2 seasons ago.
What happened in January?
They just spent $200 million.
What happened in January?
No, don't switch the conversation. No, don't switch the combo. Don't switch the combo. No. I thought this man was hosting. What's he doing?
You just spent $200 million in January.
I'm sorry, yeah. I'm going to host and let the conversation go. But certain stuff can just not be let slide, yo. So boxing match, you just try to kick man in the head, yo. Like, we're not doing that.
Vader, every season you spend money. Every season.
These man had a bad summer, yeah? Which I agree with you. You had an awful summer. And then went and spent 200 M's the next window. You lot in January like it was the summer window. You know, signing players every 5 minutes. That's crazy. Sorry, go on, Vader.
Great. Listen, this guy interrupted the entire flow. Listen, my point was with regards to the summer transfer, we did very similar to FSG. Like, from an ownership standpoint, what up, Pops? From an ownership standpoint, they did the exact same thing. I don't think it's necessarily a reflection of ambition or non-ambition. It's definitely a business model. And the reason why I said you're greedy, and if I hear Pop say the same thing, to say you want to win the title every 2-3 years, that type of league is gone. That type of league is gone. We got fortunate to do it, but even when we do it, like you said, it was 1 point, 2 points. It wasn't supposed to happen. We were very lucky. I'll be the first to admit it. And it's a different era from when United were doing it. Because when United were doing it, they were bullying everybody. They were taking players that were threatening from other clubs. They made sure that they were the biggest bullies on the block. It's different football now. If I'm able to win one in every 4 years, I want to challenge. Obviously, don't get it wrong, but I don't think the dominance is really realistic to be. I'm winning every 2-3 years, and that's coming from a City fan and ownership that everyone tells me they're the best ownership out there. I think 1 in 4, 1 in 5. Yo, I'm a happy man. I'm a lie. And I got platinums to. I'm not like these kids that expect everything like that. If I'm getting 1 in every 4, 1 in every 5, I'm like, yo, and my club's challenging within that. I can't be too upset when I also know, and here's where I'm going to be balanced. And I see Barnes. I see you leaned over. When I see you leaned over when I'm watching the show, I know you're cooking something. Let me just say this. If I know that the institutions like Liverpool, the institutions like United, we see what Chelsea are trying to do. We've seen Arsenal, and I've been able to stiff arm and keep Arsenal out of the mix. But with all of us spending and competing like that, I think that's the battle. I think if we were to take 1 in 4 and we're fighting all amongst each other, I'm like, yo, that's That's what this league's about, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that all day. 4 in a row, one in every 3 years, one in every 2 years. Barnes, you're a greedy man, and I'm gonna say that.
Listen to the man that just won 4 straight. I am a greedy man, you know. Listen to me. You see all them teams that you just mentioned there, Vader. Listen, you spend money. Arsenal spent $700 million in 5 years and has won nothing.
Yeah.
Chelsea spent $1 billion. United has spent a boatload of money. And what have I spent? Our owners down in the scrapyard, in the garbage can, digging for gold, B. And they got Klopp right now to pull nuggets out of the scrapyard. They got Mr. Locke. If they want to give Mr. Locke nothing this season, we need a player in January to solidify this title run, and they give him nothing. And look at what's happening right now. Midfield getting run over because the men legs.
You could argue a signing did cost you lot potentially a Champions League.
100%, bro.
You could argue that still.
Whoa.
No. I said you could argue it. I'm not saying for definite, but I'm saying if you add to their team, it increases their, like the same way you lot added to your team to try and get past Real Madrid. It went wrong, but it was an attempt.
We ain't do nothing, bro. And look at the midfield. They gonna run past every game now, because the man legs gone. I know some of the men gone and going to play international for no reason. They can come back now, and we got Everton. I'm by our side, Derby, you're going to deal with it. First came back.
No, Barnes, you're not going to do that. I know Pops ain't on camera. This league is wrapped up. Don't try to feed me.
No. I said we were going to win the league from the beginning of the year, bro. So I ain't giving no excuses.
No, the league's done. You guys have won it. There's no risk.
Yeah. This league is taking up, but bro, there's still games to play. Gravenberch just came back hurt. Allison's got a concussion. He's in concussion protocol right now. He came back from international duty. Gravenberch came back from international duty. Brother, these men are what they're telling you. They spend nothing in January neither. Even one extra player could do a wonder for us.
I hear it.
You just spent 200 M's. You win 4 in a row, and you tell me I spoiled that I want 1 in 2 years, and I saying I'm greedy.
You want one every 2 years?
Let me eat.
So, Bayer, you'll be happy with 1 every 4 years.
When I see institutions like Liverpool, when I see United doing, listen, there's a matter of it's about how I get the 1 in 4. Pop, stop doing that. Why are you shaking your head out? Let me answer for myself. Because I know the landscape. Because I know the battles that we'll face. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it and be like, okay, his mimes are killing me right now.
I tell you, this is why Vader's the greatest, man. I'm telling you, this is.
I'm gonna say this. I only got Pep for another 2 years. If my reality is 1 every 4, 1 every.
Oh, so you're saying because of okay, let's say hypothetically Pep switches it around, changes his mind and says, I'm staying for the next 8 years. Let's say he says I'm staying till 2035, we'll say next 10 years. Are you then cool with 1 in 4? Or does it increase because it's Pep?
Oh man.
You see he's smiling. You see he's smiling.
No, hold on.
You see how he's smiling?
I'm genuinely asking,
Listen, Flawless, you know how criminal Vader is right now? Because he know he just spent $200 million, and this summer he can drop another $300 or $400 million.
Yeah.
He doesn't know, you know. He doesn't know he going to grab Florian Wirtz. He can go and just lock up men. And this team on it again.
No, let me say this. Yo, stop that. You're not in the club. Relax.
That's you.
That ain't me. That ain't me. I know that's how you move, Flawless. I know that's how you move. But listen.
Is you look.
I've never had that much. I'm gonna say this real quick. You said it, and I wasn't expecting it. You're absolutely right. Because, shout out to everybody in the chat. If you tell me, because again, you guys could disagree, hear me out. I think Klopp is put into the Ferguson, Wenger, Dalglish, your epic managers. I think he's one of those where it's like he tilts it in his favor. I'm greedy with Pep, absolutely. But I think if it's another manager, if it's another manager, if it's like, you know what, we're all dealing with a non-generational manager, I'd be crazy.
Okay, let's say hypothetically, which is highly unlikely, so I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Let's say you get a manager, maybe not on Pep's level, but a manager you rate severely highly, who is maybe just a level below Pep. So he might not be A1, he's A2.
I ain't putting that pressure on no.
Forget Forget
one.
what you
Wallace, there's no one out there.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you think he is. I'm saying a manager comes in and performs at that level and surprises you and everybody.
I'm telling you,
else.
it's impossible. Even this slot performance,
yeah,
it's surprising. It should not be expected.
No, it's not unexpected. It's not an expectation, but I'm saying, say the manager surprises us in terms of the level he's at.
I'm still like, oh, you gave
1 and 4, you're still cool. Okay,
yeah. I ain't switching.
And you said Pep's leaving after 2 years, yeah? All right, cool, good. Go on, carry on.
No, listen. That's his contract is up in 2 years. It's up. He's been known to renew before because he was expected to leave. He remained, and he was supposed to only sign a 1-1. People thought it was going to be 1+1.
I think he wants to go out on a win, which makes sense.
Yeah. He definitely needs to go out. He definitely needs to go out on a win. And if he doesn't
lose, he can't not lose. He can't not win this league next season. That's the only thing.
No. If he happens to lose the league, I ain't mad at it. But I just know he's going to remain for another season to have to win it. He's a winner. He's not going to leave after a loss. What? Listen, you know what? Sunshine, you're lucky because let me stop.
Now I just threw her a grenade and she caught it and it blew her up just now because Canada just beat USA. So she can't get in the luck. United is terrible. The USA losing games too.
Hey.
That's why I was quiet on it. I was about to go there.
Jesus.
I threw her the grenade, bro, and she caught it and it blew up. She blew up.
That's why I was quiet, because I was about to go there. I was like, you know what? Let me see how much more fraudulent comments she puts out there before I actually drop that on her. But yeah, that's what it is. Now, this thing with regards to FSG, and Flawless likes to kind of spin it, but I take a step back. I'm able to see what they're able to do well. All right, like I actually give credit to someone that can kind of go to the flea market, right? You know what I mean? And they get that value, or they go to the garage sale, or they go to the yard sale, and they're able to catch that gem. I know FSG don't spend like the others, but they also win better than the rest. You have to admit that, because whether it was Klopp, now it's Slot, and they don't spend like the rest, but FSG are winning. And that's where it's like, if their plan, if they're genius, no, don't shake your head, Barnes. Pops, I see you. When Pops is scratching, I got him. Watch.
I'm eating. That's all. I'm just letting you know I'm eating.
Okay.
Every now and then you say something, so I want people to see the visuals.
All right. I hear you.
And we're all West Indian here, right? So we know what this is, right? This is the umpire saying you're out. You almost one thing, it means you're out. I saw Flawless bowl you just now with a quick one. You didn't expect that one. All these stumps were gone.
I didn't expect it.
Couldn't find the bail. Couldn't find him.
I'm ready now. He caught me. I'm warmed up now. I'm gonna say this. Because FSG haven't spent like that. Because FSG also, let's not get it twisted. They chose how they were going to manage these contracts, right? They obviously have however they profile these players. They're like, there's age, there's probably kilometers on these legs, there's probably injury history, and then there's definite, and I know this, there's already their scouting report on who's next. No one thought Salah was going to be this Salah. Not even your former great manager that was there. He didn't think Salah was going to be this, but he became that, right? Gravenberch, I think he was a promising one, but no one thought he was going to have the season. I know he's looking tired now, but his season was phenomenal. Everybody was like, wow. They were talking about needing to go and get a 6. They already had one, you know what I mean? But if FSG chose, you know what? Trent's asking for too much, or the conversation's not going back and forth enough. Yeah, we'll drag this out. We'll wait. Salah, same thing, because I know Salah was drama back in the day when it was him and Mane that were up for contracts, and they signed Salah before they signed Mane, and now Van Dijk. If their plan is, they got confidence because they're going to get the next one, I find it hard for some Liverpool fans to be like, we don't believe you. because they've done it. Y'all questioned FSG when they sold Coutinho, and they did use the money well. When I say y'all, let me not say you guys on the panel, but Liverpool fans were like, "What? You're selling Coutinho, and who we getting? Who you replacing? Who's the next star?" Right? So Suarez left. Who you getting? What are we doing? Mind you, it wasn't back to back. It wasn't like money out, money in. You guys did what you need to do, but again, to win another Prem in 5 years. Liverpool fans out there, shouldn't you be like, all right, prove me wrong. Let me wait.
No, because you do not let this contract situation get to where it is. You don't let 3 of your senior players, your vice captain and your captain, to run down in the same season. I'm probably one of your best players in Premier League history, or I could say Division One, whatever you want to call it, because people seem to think that because it's the Premier League, it's only Premier League, and it wasn't Division One, and it wasn't the first team in England for the last hundreds of years, right? In Salah, that's criminal, bro. That's criminal behavior. Because how do you know that you're going to get this person or that person in the summer? You really don't know. Analytics can only tell you a certain amount. I can tell you, I'm old school, right? I'm an old man. You can see the gray in my beard, and I got a tan on the top of my head, okay? How Liverpool used to operate is that we had our starting 11 when it was Bob Paisley days, and we had the youngsters that had the same type of profile in the background behind. And when the older ones got old, the younger ones came in and filled that spot. And we ticked over and ticked over and ticked over and won everything year after year after year after year. That is how we do it. You're not even doing that right now. You just last summer sold all your youngsters. You just sold all of them.
Oh, see, we can't do that. Now we can't do that. Now I got you. Now I got you. Because listen, as much, and you know me, I respect the platinums. I respect them. Because they bring
the wisdom on this show that you're getting with this crossover people. Wisdom everywhere. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
now, I got to emphasize this, because this is where I have the battle with some United fans that want to talk reckless, talk about my manager and their manager. But we can't do these. We got to change up the eras, right? We got to look at what's impacting today, right? Pops would agree with me because of FFP, because of PSR. There's now different restraints on these clubs. There's now different levels to show that you're being ran properly, that you're able to be sustainable. So this model, and as you emphasize, I'm selling my youngsters because that's how I gotta balance the books. That's how they can.
We're not you. You went up for 115 charges.
Whoa.
Never had an
issue. We gonna get to the 115 as well. We gonna get there. We have never had an issue with FFP or PSR from the time FSG has taken over this club. We've never been in the conversation. We don't bend the rules. We don't do anything wrong. They follow the rules to a T. You cannot expect to sell all of your youngsters, your academy, or like what you did last summer, and then let your first team players go. Are you telling me now that this summer we got to bring in 7 to 9 players to actually try to be even competitive next season? Because I'll tell you right now, ain't just them 3 that can be going, you know. Diaz wants to leave. Nunes probably gone. There's many others. That's going to be
want
gone.
Nunes to go, though. Come on, you want Nunes.
Listen, Nunes to me is not a typical number 9. He could be a backup striker. He's not a starter in my eyes.
Oh, okay, hold on. Is he Liverpool quality?
No, he's not.
Okay, then he could go.
He's not. But you can't let go everybody.
Veta, do you think he's Liverpool quality? Nunes.
Oh, what? Hold on. Let me just listen.
I gotta ask. I gotta ask you the question because your quality bar is like
the first thing he did was laugh. He laughed.
Hey, but
I gotta laugh because
he rates Doku, so I have to ask. That's why.
I laugh because I know where this man was gonna go. What?
That's a man that needs to be sent to Pakistan to go and play football.
Oh, okay. Now we're enemies now. See, everything was nice and cool.
Listen, bro. I come in with the ammunition, bro.
Wait a minute. So, Veti, you praise the FSG, but I heard you talking about our captain flirting with Paris Saint-Germain. So how a good ownership will allow your skipper to be in a situation where he out there having a look? That's like you saying you're allowing your girlfriend to go next door and have a chat with a fella. No. You could just come. We propose, the ring is on your finger, making you my wife. We staying long term. You can't tell me that. Yeah, you're defending the ownership when the skipper is on it. Forget the rest. The skipper.
Yeah, this
listen
where,
to the man. The skipper.
I hear the skipper one. Part. I hear the skipper part. But listen, for all future analogies, we can't use a girlfriend and wifey thing. These are players. Players sign contracts. They're only there for a certain amount of time. So we can do the girlfriend analogy. We will never do the wifey analogy because these players will go. We know that. There's a point in time where they're going to be gone. I'm going to say this with regards to Van Dijk and FSG. I happen to just
idea, AW.
I don't know why. But I'll look and I'm like, you know what? It's not typical. We're not accustomed to it. But is this a madness that FSG have now done? Because we all know. Because I'm sure we enjoy some North American sports at times. I'm so accustomed to see the young player and when they're going from that rookie contract to that pro contract. I'm accustomed to the veteran that's trying to get that next deal. I think FSG did a madness. You can agree or disagree, but we know the motivation that players have when they're playing for a contract. The fact that they had Salah, he's older. Van Dijk, he's older. Trent, I don't quite get it. But when all players play to their peak levels when they're playing for that contract, that's a madness that FSG did because they got the best motivation out of Van Dijk and Salah, not only to play and deliver, because it would mean they get the contract that they want at Liverpool, or they play and deliver and they get the contract that takes them somewhere else. FSG, credit to them or not, it's mad. It's brilliant in a way because you got these players to play because they look nothing like last year. And last year they should have had motivation to play because it was the last dance for Klopp. Send Klopp off in a farewell. You did it. Thank you, boss. Right? They had great motivation to do it, and they fell short. But when you put money on the line,
injuries didn't help that situation.
Okay,
exactly. That's very disingenuous.
Yeah, last season we had
wait. Was Van Dijk hurt last year? Was he hurt last year?
Not him.
Van Dijk was bad last season.
Was Salah hurt last year?
No, Van Dijk was bad last season. Is that what you're saying? Was Van Dijk bad last season?
No, was he hurt? Because Barnes mentioned injuries.
Was he bad? Salah was hurt. Was Van Dijk bad?
Van Dijk? I don't think Van Dijk was bad last year.
No, Salah was hurt.
Okay, then.
Salah was hurt? Okay.
So he wasn't bad last year. He's not been bad this year. So
he's been very good this year.
Same levels. Salah's difference is, so he wasn't very good last year?
All right. You know what? He looked more like himself last year. And I think he's raised his level more consistently this year as well. I mean, I could also speak to the games where I saw him play against my club. And he was the Van Dijk of old in terms of he was covering no matter who slipped up. He was always the anchor. But if you're telling me same levels last year and this year, I won't fight you on that. But I also know the motivation that players have when they're playing for a contract.
Agreed.
That is true.
But you also have to look at it. The flip side of it is this. You've put yourself in a situation to show this man, all right, operate at a high level. Then what? Now what? No, what? Because the fans are saying, all right, cool. We've won. You just said it. We've won the title. It's summer now. Let's fast forward for a second. It's summer now. Now what? What are you doing with the skipper? Did you just milk the last drop out of the lemon? Is that what you're saying? And you're happy to let him ride off into the sunset because you've won the title?
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. It's good ownership. That's good ownership.
Potentially. All only because they have an age window, right? He is a player that's
here's what we can do, Vader. Right? Here's what we can do.
Okay.
Rather than speculate, we can put a pin in that one. I will revisit this at the end of summer.
Why?
Right before the season starts. We'll have because that will give you an opportunity to tell me, look, Pops, look what they did. They bought this guy, they bought that guy, Van Dijk's gone. You won't have to speculate. It will happen. We'll see. It'll unfold.
Okay,
so
but
I'm not going to
having
put you in a
this doing
situation where we can clip you up and say, look what you said. I'm going to save you from the internet trolls.
I'm unclippable.
None
I'm
of us know what
unclippable.
the future. Oh, okay.
Huh?
No, I am unclippable.
Oh,
All right, cool.
oh,
There's
like,
literally a clip of me and you on my Instagram, but all right,
okay.
cool. Well,
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to take like 10 seconds, it'll sound wild. But if you take the 10 before and the 10 after, that makes sense.
Nah, the clip was like 2 minutes, but we move. Sorry. Go on.
Let me see this. Let me see this 2 minute.
I tagged you in it. I tagged you in it on Twitter.
Right,
Prime made it when we was talking about you lot in Europe and like the coefficients and all that type of stuff.
All right, I'm gonna go revisit it.
Yeah, and we're talking about you backing. Actually, ironically, we're talking about Liverpool. You backing FSG and Arteta and Ten Hag and all that stuff.
All right. I'm gonna go revisit that. I'm not on IG like that often.
Yeah, it's a good.
Listen, I can live with Trent leaving. I can live with Trent leaving.
Whoa.
I'll be honest with you, because I am not one of these guys that is willing to pay Trent anything north of 250K a week.
Okay,
because
I hear that.
Trent, from an offensive standpoint, is an 8 out of 10 and what he brings to the team and what he plays on the pitch. But on a defensive standpoint, Trent is probably a 3 out of 10 for me. I rather a right back that is a 6 or a 7 out of 10 on both sides of the field.
I like this honesty.
Better.
I like this honesty. Yeah,
that's just me, right? Because now you're not overloading or overworking your center backs because they have to cover for you on the defensive end. You understand? So I'm okay with him walking. I am not good with Verge leaving, because how do you replace Verge? He cannot be replaced. You cannot bring in somebody and say you're going to fill Verge's spot and expect to be there. He ain't going to be there. You're going to have some growing pains. Salah, on the other hand, with his output, I think those are the two guys that they should be re-signing from a 2-year deal with a team option for year 3.
Okay, let me ask you this. And I'm gonna have
you going to NBA and North America.
No.
I'm not
doing that.
A 2+1 situation.
I'm a deal specific in this situation, but I'm gonna ask you guys, take a second and think from the player standpoint. All right, take a second and think for the Flawless likes to ask me about the legacy, right? He often wants to bring up legacy. If they are able to win it this year, and for you guys telling me what FSG are and aren't and how they've been, if these players win the Prem this year, they know what FSG is like. They've been dealing with these contracts. Why do you think if you think for them, why should they stick around and not leave on a high?
For one reason, they love the club, and they both said they want to stay.
And they could win again.
Look
at the league. It's not like you're going up against the juggernaut.
You guys were just telling me how I'm about to spend $300 million in the summer.
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah, but I still think that Liverpool is the only team in the Prem that Pep Guardiola fears. The only team. When we on the top, it worry him, and you know that, Theater.
All right, let me say
this. It's only you two though. Like it's
Liverpool is make Pep scratch himself. Like if he's got man.
See, you're doing.
No,
you're doing too much now. I'm gonna come back. I got to do prayers with my minions right now.
Yeah, do your thing.
But I'm gonna come back because you did. See, the fact that you did all this scratch up thing, I'm gonna start talking about Arteta and who ran who out of this club. I'll be right back.
We're gonna get to that, man. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Make sure you lot subscribe. Are you not entertain people? We're not
you see who Veda is? FSG. I can turn this so. Look at the Boston Red Sox. They own that club. Flawless. The last time they won a championship, their best player they let walk away because of the same foolishness. Oh, he was older. The man went on to play for the Dodgers and won 3 more world championships. What are you telling me?
Yeah.
The man is criminal. Even the Boston fans can't stand him, and they're from Boston. Pittsburgh Penguins, glorious franchise in the pits. They own them too. These men are criminal. They only care about money and business. That's why you always hear me say it. They're very good businessmen. But from a sporting standpoint, these men are criminal. For any team they own, they're criminal.
That's fair enough. I hear that. Pops, I think I pretty much know your thoughts on this, but we spoke on this before you got on Van Dijk, links to PSG. Are you just still, let's see what happens at the end of the summer, let's just win the league title and see where it is? Or are you more leaning towards him or staying? more him leaving, or is it still just the exact same?
Let me enjoy the journey to the title. We'll figure that out when it comes, because you're already past the point with the contracts. You had the win, no, you left it. There's a lot of rumors about financial years, so they don't want to do the deal in this year, so they want to hang, which I think is April 1st, subject to correction. And if that's the case, then again, that could be something that makes sense. Then somebody throw a number that is going to be 190 million or something like that to sign all three of them for sign-on fees, I guess, and their salaries and the agents and all that. Full contract will be 190 million if you were to resign the three of them, which again, you don't know. And the problem with for me especially is numbers is my word. When it comes to football, I won't play. I ain't interested in all this. This sickens me. I'll be honest with you. It gets me really annoyed when I hear people talking about net spend and this and that. And I ain't saying, right, guys, that ain't your thing. Just leave it alone. Because net spending a real thing, it doesn't exist. A lot of people putting it on this sheet and that. No, just forget it. Just leave it. It's all lies anyway. Why do we think we know the exact amount of money that these men making? Oh, Haaland's deal is this. Do you really feel that the deal, Haaland's deal is what they told us? And he could have got more money somewhere else.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Come on, man. We know that around the corner, Daddy gotta get someone, whoever the agency is. And was it guy? There was a big agent that passed away recently.
You're talking about Portuguese guy? Yeah, he worked with Pogba. Yeah. Oh, what's his name? Chat, let us know. I know who you're talking about, though.
Managerial or something like that.
That's it. Managerial. Yeah. That was his name, right. I think. Yeah.
So he was a man that had all these sort of deals going on. If you go backwards, you used to hear men talking about brown bags and back doors and under the tables and all that sort of thing. You think that don't happen still? Yeah, more sophisticated. So when the fans start talking about this million and that million, and you add on 5 million when you want sound good, when you sell a player, and you want to take off 5 million when you buy one. So he was up 30, 35. Now he was 40 million. You know, that's what the report. Now he was only 32 and a half. This numbers game is nonsense. It's all nonsense to me. It's honestly. FSG can do the best for them. The players and their families. We all know this. When you get married and you got a family, forget love the club. If we working in Toronto, we working in London, and we working in Bridgetown, Barbados, and the offer comes for us and it says, all right, I'm going to move you and your family to another country, and this is what we can do for you. You go home and you have a conversation with your family says, yeah, that's a good opportunity because you're 25. You're 30, still a reasonable opportunity. When you're past 30, maybe it's less of an opportunity because now the kids in school, and I like going to this here, and we got this going on, and the family's settled. You can't work out something so we can stay. So they got a lot of different factors. Trent, for me, is one where you're saying, well, Trent, you ain't got chicken or child to worry about. You ain't got no mortgage nor nothing that holding you in place. You snatch at your bag and you go on treat door and say, Mom, I love you. I can check you later. Or you want to come the problem, you can send a little ticket and you flying. Yeah, brother, two, sister, whoever else. Yeah, you can fly you over to wherever it is. So he easier than the rest if he wants to go. Yeah, he's a Scoza and he loves. Of course he loves Liverpool. 20 years or whatever. Let me see. Trent's 26 now. 20 years in one space. Let's put that back into real life. You work one place for 20 years and somebody says, you want to have a look over here? Again, no chick, no child. Why not? So if he were to leave, for me, it would be one of them. I understand. You're a young man. It's a different world. This isn't the 1990s when you sign a man and say, all right, you can give us 10 years. And then when you're done, you roll you out through the door, put you out to pastor because he's done. Not everything gone. He's 32 now and he's dead because that's what it was back then. No players have realized, and the science is available. Hey, 36, 37, you can still do something. Does that mean Saudi or some other league, or do I stay in the top league? So you still got options that you didn't have in the past, which again makes it interesting for the players. Van Dijk can go anywhere in the world, in my opinion, right now. Anywhere. Yep. He walks into every single team for me. Again, somebody might say, but that's rubbish box. No problem. For me, VVD walks into all of the teams and says, I'm here. Let's say Gabriel and Saliba are the best two people think. Those are the best two. Or Rudiger and whoever. Look, Van Dijk walks in, you're saying to me that you're saying, nah, I want he. You're looking at it and saying, all right, if I shift this one around, or can I do a little ahead because it's still at that level. So are you willing to just allow that level to walk away? Not for me. For me, he's the most, and you know what? He's the most important for me. Outside looking in. So again, we are the outsiders looking in and saying, yeah, Liverpool call me. But the skipper leaving though. I ain't so sure I want to go. Ibu next door saying, yeah, you want me to sign a contract? Yeah, wait a minute though. What's going on with my partner here? Because it's always twos. For me, centre backs are pairings. Yeah. What going on with my partner first? Because if he leaves and you want me to stay, you got my money then, George. So I ain't signing this little contract here. Let me wait to see what's going on with the big man. Because his money might become my money if he walks out. Because I'm now number one. I'm the dog. I'm the big dog now if he leaves.
Yep.
All of that has effects then throughout the team. Which is why I say, just let me enjoy the title and let me see what happens in the summer. Because a lot gonna happen. And you're not putting a lot of pressure on the coach now because he's come and won right at the jump. You hear Barnes to be licorice? That's a beer drink term, people. Licorice means you like the
licorice. You know, my nana told me that all the time. You know,
the expectation is you want it again. It's a curse.
Yeah.
In the wide world, we'd say greed, right? But in Barbados, especially, we say licorice. Don't be licorice. But you know what? When you taste some good food, you know what you want? You want to
you want
more.
You want your belly bust up, man. You want on the top button and lay a cat's hangover. Yeah, you want to be greedy. Nah. That's what we be. That's what we be.
Look at this man that thought here. Look, he's smiling because he's wearing a tracksuit now. He doesn't button his pants. He's wearing a tracksuit. He's full, 4 in a row. Belly full. Full up, you know. So he can sit there, right? Because we in the all you eat buffet, my man fully relaxing, like, oh yeah, 4 in a row, never been done. So he's fuller than anybody ever's been. So you know when you're full, what's happened? You speak a little freer and you speak like a little woozy because you're full. Yeah, you don't mind winning one every 4 years or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. You know why? Because you've won 4 in a row. So in 4 more years, if you win one, well, that's 5. In how many years? No, that's 8. That's 5 in 10 years. 5 in 10 sounds good to everybody else, right?
Yes.
All right. 2 in 10 don't sound so good, though.
Nah. 2 in 10 ain't the way forward.
Not for Flawless and not for me. Again, if you're happy with 2 in 10, that's right for you. But that 4 in a row got you dizzy, you know. That's all it is. Because you said it's 20 years for Arsenal. It's over a decade for United. We did 3 decades. All of us were hungry. And you know how long yours is.
Yeah.
You were long. Chelsea was long. So
when years, wasn't it? What was yours? 89 years. What was these?
But this is why I'm saying when you've been starving that long, right? And for us, it was we hadn't won a major trophy in 35 years. Not just winning the league. We hadn't won the FA. We hadn't won a major trophy in 35 years. So when you guys are getting the League Cup here, the FA Cup there, as well as winning the league, and obviously you guys were winning Champions League. This is where I'm saying you guys are greedy because you've been winning.
Yeah, we are greedy.
But now I get it. I get it.
We are greedy. We confess to that sin. We confess to that sin. But you know what? Now, you will be as well.
No. I'm not going to be a sinner like you guys.
To continue to have this conversation.
I'm not going to sin like you guys.
You'll be greedy. No,
I'm not going to sin like this man. No, I'm not going to sin like this man. I ain't sinning like you guys. No.
Because you've got how many titles in the last 9 years? You've got what? What is it? 7? 7 in the last 9?
I've been very lucky. I've been a beneficiary
of got the numbers now
of an ownership. No, I can't remember.
You can't remember. Yeah.
Maybe 6 and 7, something like that.
Convenience, right? Yeah.
But
convenience.
But what I want to say is
it's never been blue as far as I remember.
It's never been I want this. Like you
don't think your ownership in Pep is greedy in regards to what they want? I think anyone's successful in football is greedy.
I
don't think you have that without greed. Same way you need confidence and arrogance to be successful at the highest level.
see the
100%.
greed. Okay, yes. Okay, maybe there's an element of greed.
100%,
There's the ambition.
Yeah, but that ties into it as well. Like Pep's super ambitious, super greedy, and that's complimentary when I say that. That's not.
I'm not taking it.
Your board is greedy.
But that exactly.
That's complimentary when I say. But I wish my club was greedy.
But let me pose this to you guys. All right, big game theory. Right, let's take a second here.
Go on.
Because we're in 2025. We're in a time of sustainability. We can't all be greedy. We can't all just consume and take what we want, because there's going to be a point where we've exhausted everything. You know what I mean? Now, if I got United, if I got Flawless, trying to win and spending the way he's trying to spend and being the greedy man that he grew up being, right? He's living slim now. Now he's got to pick his meals. He's got to choose on when he goes out.
And this ain't the way forward.
No, it's not the way forward. But also understand, you were living the big life before.
Oh yeah, facts. It was great. I wish it carried on.
He's still living a good life. He's win trophies in the last 10 years.
He's winning trophies, but he wants the big ones.
Of course. I mean, Arsenal didn't win nothing.
Arsenal haven't won nothing. They've been starving.
Yeah.
Right? They got to actually pick. They've been having to pick their meals. Pick one. Oh, we're gonna go out on a Friday night. We can't go out 4 nights a week. They got to be really choosy on how they do things. Now Liverpool have been feeling they've been living life. They've been going out whatever they want. They're about to win another Prem, and they're about to win another Prem with a rookie manager.
I must have another one,
But you know the difference is you've been there winning your Prems, and you there spending with champagne money. We using Mobby money, my man, to win premierships.
See, now to be able to make Mobby taking something that no one would really expect and turning it into a beverage it's brilliant. FSG.
Hey, whoever did that needs to. Whoever invented that needs to be United. He a genius. Whoever.
I'm telling you. How'd they come up with this concoction to make Mobby? You're like, what? So you take. All I'm gonna say is FSG. They've done a lot with a lot less. I get you. Now, if we're all, and I mentioned those clubs before, if we're all trying to be greedy, we're gonna fall short, right?
All right, let it be you.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, if we fall short and we're all trying to be greedy, am I going to be upset with my club or my coach or how we're trying to win when I see that I'm competing against the best clubs? Am I to be upset?
No, that's fair, but we're not.
So that's the difference. What does competing mean, though? Because a lot of people have said they've competed, and then you look at it and say, well, no, you didn't. United were second to you. They didn't compete with you at any point in time in that season.
Yeah, we didn't.
They didn't compete.
They didn't. But at the same time,
when we beat you, you didn't compete with us, and you finished second. We beat you by a mile.
The league was done in February something.
We were having difficulty breathing. That was you know what I mean. The respiratory issues we're having, like that was a tough time.
They got some inhalers then. You should have.
You guys had them all. You guys had all of them over there.
You know why? You know why we had them all? We were greedy, so we had them all.
Greedy, yes,
greedy.
So this is what we're saying, people, is that greed, like literally in football, you see there's something to this.
We give you a snorkel into your mouth and put a hole in the damn hose. That's season.
Listen, you guys ran away with it. Credit to you. I've been saying it. There's no other club other than Liverpool. When they know you're down, they're going to take advantage and they're going to run away with it. You guys did it. You did it 1920. You're doing it again 2024, 2025. All I'm going to say is, I just want to put it in this perspective. If we, and I get it, we all judge our clubs differently in terms of what we're doing to win. Because I hear Flawless say all the time, it's intent. If my club's showing intent, then I'm not going to be too upset. But is it intent with how they spend? Is it intent with you criticizing which players they end up scouting or picking? What's that?
You carry on. All of the above. I already know where you're going with this. All of the above. Because you don't have a successful football club.
I agree.
Without doing well in those areas you've mentioned. And you ain't even finished. And I already know, because you know ball, they're key things. So of course you have to spend money. Don't mean big amounts, but you have to spend. Of course you have to spend. Yeah, right, of course you have to sign the correct players at the correct age, at the correct price. Something my club hasn't done. This is why I continue to say this. You'll never hear me criticize the amount of money Manchester United have spent. Ever. No issues with how much we spent. How we spent it has been the problem. Because we spent it without a plan.
Yep.
So
That's
I
been the
hate,
problem.
I hate that I gotta reveal this on this show. It's a crossover, but maybe it's fitting.
Go on.
Flawless likes to challenge me all the time with regard, oh, you keep defending all these managers. You're always, oh, this is your boy. How's your boy doing? The reason why, when I look at
these might be in the chat, so they know, by the way. They know when we're going back and forth on those things.
That's true.
Yeah. Because you do like to back these managers who don't win. But I hear it. Like you back Arteta like you're an Arsenal fan. It's crazy. But I know he's ex-City and that, so I get it.
No.
Better than Arsenal fans, actually.
No,
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, you do a stupendous job.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, your job is stupendous.
Oh my gosh.
The way you defended saying, hey, Arteta can go 8-9 years without a league title was brilliant still. It was epic.
Wait, did I say that?
Yeah, you did say that.
I said 8-9 years?
Yeah.
Well, if he's losing by 1 point within those 8-9 years, I mean,
that's fine. So as long as he continues to lose by a point, he can lose.
If he's also only losing now this year, threw everything off because when I was defending him, I didn't expect.
So it depends on who he's losing to.
I didn't expect him to lose the slot, but for him to lose to Pep, hey, I'm not going to hate him. I'm not going to hate.
So it's okay. So and that's where Arsenal fans are at, because that's what Arsenal fans, they had the same argument was, it's okay to lose because it's Pep. Fuck that. Pep ain't invincible. Yeah. These lot shown that.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, a lot of things happened this season for why.
Yeah, of course.
We're not close.
It wasn't just him. There. But I'm saying, like, to me, there's no accepting of he's not invincible. This is not a film.
But okay, but this when I want to go back with regards to the whole manager, and I want to talk about competing or intent, right?
Yeah.
When Liverpool won their Prem, and we were able to take the title back. You know what we did this summer after we took the title back? Yes, you look on paper, City spent 100 million. It was on Jack Grealish. Am I going to look at my board? Am I going to look at my club and being like, they showed intent to defend a title because they, after going out and only getting a Jack Grealish? Pardon me?
We ain't. Who else? There's variables.
No, that was it. We only got Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish was Jack Grealish. Something you said about Manchester United. What did we do very well? Go and take the best players from the rest of the Premier League.
No. What?
No. So that's something you said. Correct? Did you not say we did that during the 90s and the 2000s? We did that
from the clubs that threatened you. Who?
We went and bought from the rest. What clubs?
Fergie took best players for everybody.
Yeah, he was literally Van Persie. From our rivals, it was literally Van Persie. In the 90s and 2000s, we didn't do that. Who did we sign?
What Fergie used to do was he would cut it off before. So Fergie would hear that you might be going to Liverpool.
Yes,
going
to
Arsenal.
From teams in like, no, you're not. Yeah, 4th, 5th, 6th, and lower down. We did that.
No, the bullying I'm talking about is if you knew, because you're obviously you're fighting versus an Arsenal, you're fighting versus Liverpool. If you knew that they were in the hunt for so-and-so, you bullied and got that player before they did. That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. I can't go to go back in time and to remember exactly.
This is a myth.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's a myth. We didn't.
But you had that flex. You had that.
It's a myth.
We had that flex. We go and get players from. I agree with you in regards to going to get players from the Premier League. Like we did that, but in regards to from the rivals directly,
so no one was going for Ferdinand. You guys were the only one thinking about getting him.
Not from us. I think he's saying you intercepted the deal.
That's what I'm talking about.
You'd stop the
that's
deal
just
from
smart on our part. I don't know who went. Did anyone go in for when he was at Leeds?
If a player was going to City, Liverpool, or Arsenal, then you'd say, Cantona, for example, anybody would have signed Cantona when you bought him from Leeds.
But here the thing is that people don't, and you lot will know this better than me with the Cantona one. They sold him to us thinking he was a problem. That was on their part. No, Leeds sold him to us thinking he was a problem.
But he wasn't a footballing problem. He was a problem.
But
you know that he was a problem.
You know, but they sold him to us thinking he would be a dressing room problem for us. They sold us a quote-unquote virus for those.
Not so much dressing room. For me, that's not what the problem was. That wasn't a problem. It was
they thought it was an issue though. They didn't. Leeds didn't sell him to us thinking he was going. Leeds didn't sell him to us thinking he'd be a catalyst for us dominating.
Agreed. No.
Otherwise,
That's
I'll say this: if Leeds could go back in time and switch that, if they went into the future and knew what was going to happen, and Leeds selling him to us, absolutely not.
No,
not a prayer.
No,
that's my point.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's fair. But when I was talking about the bullying, when I was talking about you guys flexing, was not necessarily going out and taking Liverpool's strongest player. I'm not saying that, but when it comes down to which players are up, which players can we go out and get, and then it was rumors or talked about Arsenal in the hunt for it, Liverpool in the hunt for it. You guys would be like, get out of here. We're getting.
That's on you. Step your game up. Step your way up.
Right now, when I say about what City done, because you tried to slip in Jack Grealish as an example of that, that's not the example.
No. When I'm saying that, I'm saying Jack Grealish was one of the better players in the Premier League, and that's a great move for you, look.
Yes, he was.
So when you say that, and also he was not too far to say the missing piece, but he was added to what was already a great side. You won the league the year before, correct?
Yeah, we won.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
And you had quality players before that. Yeah. So adding one Jack Grealish, because that's all you needed. Did you not win the Did you win the treble his first season?
No.
He won the treble. You won the treble.
He won
the treble. His second season.
And what did he win his first season?
He won the
Prem.
I think he won FA Cup.
Not just the Prem player. Just the Prem.
Won the FA Cup too.
That's crazy.
No, it was just the Prem.
No, it was not just the Prem.
Okay. So you signed a player, so you already had a quality side with a quality manager. You had the best side in the. You had the best side in the country.
Hold on.
You had the best manager in the country.
No, stop this. Stop
what? Stop saying facts.
No, relax.
Don't say facts.
Right, when we got Jack and we won. When I say just the Prem, it's funny because we're in the same situation here.
Just the Prem.
No,
just the Prem, man. Just the Prem.
But that was Liverpool's quad chase season.
When greed's a problem.
When we only won the Prem, that was when these guys, and it was on the final day. It was on the final day when they weren't able.
Was the Liverpool's quad season Jack Grealish's first season?
Yes.
Okay, so you could argue that 100 million got you over the line against them then. You could argue Jack Grealish was you could argue.
So I can argue that Chiesa got these guys.
No.
Hold on. No. Let's not. No, because we can actually look at it and do we can do it from a numbers perspective. Let's do it numbers perspective.
What do you mean?
I can check.
No, don't do this. No,
we can do appearances.
No, wait. Chiesa hasn't played enough games to get a medal yet.
So that tells you
his impact.
How many games? How many games
in the Prem? But he's played for you in other cup
runs. That don't count for the Prem.
But
no,
to get us over the line in the Prem, he doesn't have a medal right now. You gave me the Prem right now. You said,
whereas to my knowledge, I could be wrong.
There's 9 games
left.
Does
not get a medal right now.
Did Grealish
No, but you gave it to me already. I'm just telling you. I'm taking it right now. Chiesa's not in the line to get a medal.
Okay.
He's not in the dressing room. This is what we used to do.
Yes,
How many games did you play?
What
are you asking me?
I'm just making sure that Grealish had played enough games to get a medal. That's all. Because I remember him playing. I remember him. Did he not in the final game get a couple of? Did he not get a goal or assist against in the last game or something like that?
He put in the latter stage.
In the last game that helped you win it. So you could argue that 100 million spent added to you getting the points total you did to finish above Liverpool in that. So to me, it was 100 million well spent. Clearly.
Now you see, you remember earlier.
It wasn't 100 million well spent.
No. I believe he was never worth 100 million. That was his obviously release clause, but I don't think any player is worth 100 million.
I agree with you in that to an extent.
So player wise, yes, he was important for us. 100 million well spent, but player, yes,
like 90. Man, when you a Premier FA Cup and a treble the following season, I would have took that still. It's money well spent. Okay. Even if he's not worth it, which I agree with you.
We're getting sidetracked because I wanted to talk about this whole intent. Go
ahead, because it goes back to what I said earlier when I said to you, if FSG says you were backing them, if they had spent money and picked up a couple players, they had to spend 100 million. Mm-hmm. We would have knocked you off for at least 2 titles. And you went and just got Jack Grealish for 100. And you see, you come straight back round to what my comment was.
No.
You retooled. And you won again.
Cards, I got you.
No. I coming back. You.
No. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta throw out the reel and just wait. And sometimes you gotta just move it a little bit.
I got you. The hook in the rope.
I got you, bro. You know why? Because we come back to the greediness. Because the manager that you once had, right? The manager in terms of Klopp, he showed his greed that year. Because if you remember that FA Cup, my manager actually chose to show rotation because we were still in the Champions League. He showed rotation when we had to face you guys. We didn't quite play our strongest. We had Jack Grealish playing false 9. It was a madness. That's when you guys knocked us out of the FA Cup, and we're still on pursuit of your quad. But that was a quad pursuit, greedy season. I think that's what cost you in terms of winning it versus us, because we actually focused on the Prem when you were still focusing on 4. You were still focusing on 4 titles, on 4 trophies. We prioritized the league at that point. Yes, you could argue if you had more players, it would have been, we could all do that. But I know my manager at the time said, "Hey, we got Jack Grealish in that summer. Yes, we spent the $100 million. It looks great on the books, but we only added 1 player, and he actually prioritized.
Looks great in the trophy cabinet too.
But we prioritized the league when Klopp and Liverpool fans were greedy, pursuing the quad. I remember, and again, that quad would have happened if not for the final day in Champions League, as well as the final day losing by 1 point to us. And it was a madness. It was a madness in terms of what we're able to do. But it was, fine margins. But if your manager prioritized, if your manager prioritized
Rodri handball, don't forget about that one.
Oh, don't do that.
Don't forget about that one, man. Don't forget about that one. Rodri handball, bro. You had a little bit of help there to nudge you over the line. Come on, Vader.
I can't believe.
Do you honestly believe that? Do you honestly believe you just said that prioritize the league over the whatever? You think that's a real thing? Because I'm asking you genuinely because fans often say this. Oh well, let's not do this and prioritize this because that's worked. Every time I hear someone say, "Oh, Arsenal should not do this and that because we're going to win the league. So let's pray."
Oh, I thought we were talking.
How often have you seen a team? No, just generally. Just generally.
Oh, now you don't want to talk about his boy. Crazy.
Oh,
I'm going to prioritize the league by not doing this, this, and this. How often has that worked? Because you've won doubles. He's won doubles. We've won doubles. What was different then? Because it's the same thing. We've won the Champions League and the league. We've done that. We've done that, right? So it wasn't a case where someone said, "Oh God, let's not do this and do this." It was all right, one game at a time. Flawless is famous words. One at a time. So if it's the FA Cup, it's the FA Cup. Yeah. You had the luxury of saying that you could play your Jack Grealish, which makes it sound like, oh well, we've focused on the league. I would say what you've done is you have a squad big enough that allows you to do what you needed to do.
No, but this is what I was getting at.
In my mind, we were a player short in the domestic double. When we won the double, as opposed to the squad chasing, because it's what we won, not what we didn't win. We won the double. When we won the double, if you look at it saying yourself, yeah, boy, they were literally one man short. Because if you can go right down to the minutes, the last minutes of the Champions League final and the minutes in the season, you're saying to yourself, yeah, let me be honest. If Liverpool bought that kid that they was, or that guy that they were linked with, you would have won the quad. That could have been a madness. You would have. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, right? But the idea for me that people say, well, let's focus on the Champions League. Let's focus on winning the UEFA Cup and not what was going on in the league because this is our entry into Europe. How often does that work? You end up 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
Hold on.
And you lose in the final.
Yeah.
And then everybody.
To my knowledge, is never. You know what, Pops? You make a great point. To me, it's not. I've never remember it working for anyone.
It's an okay point.
That's a fantastic point. So name the team. Name a top team is worked for in the league in the last 10 years. Oh, never. Don't put numbers on it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't gas it and make it a fantastic.
Don't show you're working out. I get it, man. It's all right. Go on,
no. It's a good point. It's a good point.
Bold, man. Clean, man. We can't find the stumps. You know what I'm saying? We can't find the stumps. Never mind the bails. The stump went flying.
No, I'm not stumped. I'm gonna say this.
No, you. I'm saying he's bowled you and the stumps out. The wickets hit. The balls hit the wicket and the stumps come flying. We found the bail, but the stump somewhere gone.
Watch.
Middle stump too.
The middle stump gone, man. It's in the crowd somewhere.
The reason why I said I didn't want to do the Arsenal thing is because we know that when Arsenal were talking about it, it was after the fact. That's how they cope themselves. That's how they deal with exiting out of a cup run, out of a trophy. They say, "Oh, we're prioritizing," but leading into it, you can see the player selection. You guys know what your best 11 that season was. You kind of know when Klopp would flirt around and make too many rotations to be like, you know what, he's not really setting his strongest. I saw that in terms of my manager's choice on that day when we were facing you in the FA Cup, because It was the available players that he had to choose from, or the players healthy to choose from, and who he chose to play. And I was like, you know what? He is prioritizing the league. Or sorry, not prioritizing the league. He was prioritizing trying to play against Real Madrid that was sandwiched into that FA Cup run. And I saw my manager prioritize the Champions League versus that FA Cup at that time. When it comes down to,
which is understandable, because we would all do that. We would all do that. If we look at the season at some point, we say, all right, midweek we got Madrid. So we got plan ahead. So we're playing Madrid back to back. Who's in the between? All right, I can go rotate in our game. That's normal. So if our game happened to be the game in between, that's an expectation on us, because you can't play your 11 against Madrid, against Liverpool, and against Madrid again.
Right.
Those 3 games are going to be difficult games, and you have to do a rotation. So to me, that's not a prioritization. That's why I asked the question. That's not prioritizing for me. That's just standard.
But hear me out. And again, my memory's not as good as it used to be. These platinums kind of show that. At the time, I remember looking and saying Klopp did prioritize the FA because, quote unquote, you guys had a lighter side of the Champions League. You know what I mean? So it might have been Benfica. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think you guys played stronger in the FA than you did your second leg in Champions League. We played a quote unquote slightly weaker team in the FA versus you guys than we did to try and play Real Madrid on the second leg. We still lost. We ended up losing, but I saw my manager choose to keep more strength to play in Champions League. The prioritizing, again, when it comes down to that crunch time when the FA is conflicting with Champions League, yes, every manager would do it. When we're talking about the earlier stages, no. You play that game to win it and to move on, because you want to be as many competitions as you can. Absolutely. But I was just bringing it back to that one example there. Player additions, the whole intent thing, I'm not going to do a blanket statement like Flawless likes to do, but I'm going to look with regards to a little bit of context and say, okay, my club, yes, they went out and spent 100 mil, but they only got Jack Grealish. I was looking at that sideways.
Only, Okay, so you was looking at it sideways.
I was looking at it sideways.
Okay, which is fair. You can look at it sideways. That's fair, because it's only one player, even though it's a very, very good player at that point, adding to a very good situation. So let's say I was on the opposite side of that. We both City fans, and me and you are debating it, and you're saying, Grealish, don't really like it. I'm saying, look at the manager we have, look at the team we've got, adding in Grealish. 2 years later, a year later, 2 years later, which one of us is right?
Wait, what do you mean? Who's right?
What have we won in that? What have we won in that?
But that's not a reflection of you being right about the acquisition of Grealish.
Of course, it's a reflection. Okay, here's the flip side. The signing happens, and City win nothing for the next 2 years. Who was right?
It's not just that signing.
Not just what we're talking about adding to it. It can add or take away.
Okay.
So wait. Has Grealish contributed to the success of Manchester City in those 2 seasons? Did he contribute?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so that's money well spent if he's contributed to what we've won. Because that's how we look at it. When we sign a player, it's an investment. Whether you sign a player for 1 million or 100 million, you look at him, you're looking at him to contribute to the success of the football club. Therefore, Jack Grealish has contributed, whether you rate him highly, mid, low, whatever. He's contributed to great success, historic success. So it's money well spent.
But I could also say, if we had invested that 100 million in a player that's not quite Jack Grealish, but a player that I'm not now looking to get out the door, 4 seasons isn't really a good money well spent for a player already to be on the way out. 100 million on a player, 4 seasons.
Depends what he wins in those 4. For those 4 seasons, yes, 100%, yes.
No,
for 100%. So you wouldn't take that. So you wouldn't take. Didn't you not 4P in that period? Was it 4? Wait, was it a 4P?
He's come on.
Wait, hold on.
I'll answer the question.
Yeah, hold on. Did he contribute? Wait, I just need a yes or no. Did he contribute?
I don't like your yes or no's. Let me answer.
Why? Yeah, of course you don't. Did he? I can check. Hey, chat. Did he contribute?
I can tell you right now.
Listen, the chat just said it. His numbers for that treble season was very similar.
So wait, he contributed to a 4P. So he contributed to a 4P, contributed to a Champions League, contributed to a treble, contributed to probably 2-3 domestic cups combined, maybe even more, I'm sorry. You're the
That
only
was
person I
100
know
Ross.
that's not taking that.
No,
I'm
no,
taking that.
no, it's not about
That's money well spent.
You're
That's
missing
great.
the point. You're missing the
Go on.
point. It's not about taking it. Of course, I'm going to take a treble and take a 4P.
All right, just to
right?
clarify. Thank you, AW.
So flawless.
yeah,
Jack Grealish has won
Yeah.
a domestic, like he's won the Prem with us his first year.
Mhm.
He went on and won the treble the next year. He was
Yeah.
part of the 4P the next year. But if you want to look at his contribution for
Yeah.
$100 million player, and now a player that many want out, many are saying is not good enough.
do you want him
I
out?
would. No, many people want Jack Grealish out.
Do you want him out?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Jeez.
I do because he has not been a professional off the pitch.
You talk about the drinking
So
and everything. That's fine.
That's
wanted him
cost
in
him
there.
in terms his health availability.
You didn't want him in the first place. You didn't want him
He
in
was
the first
against
place.
the signing. Yeah, he was
I
against
was
the
I was
signing.
against 100 million for that signing.
Would you
Did
have
I-
took him for 60 million at
60,
that point?
60.
I would have taken him for 60. 60's calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the
But-
100 Evans.
But that price tag
60's
over
calm.
any player, I think, does something to them.
60
Like,
scale.
look
If
at
you're
look
not up to it, I agree with you. I don't think he's 100 million, but I pay the premium for what he brings. If someone says you are going to overpay for a player and he's going to contribute to this, I'm taking that.
No, all that's fair. But
Well-
what I want to point out is we could have invested in someone else that would have cost less and potentially not only been here for 4 years. To want a player out after 4 years at that price tag, it's not good.
You say you got,
And I'm
you
not
got
going
long
to get
patience to
my
wait for-
value for him either. So
What's your value? What's your value?
well, the fact that he was 100 million release clause,
Right.
I'm
Right.
probably selling him for maybe 50, maybe. I don't. Is
So-
anyone
I
in
think
the
that's
Prem?
fair.
Is anyone
I
in the
think that's
Prem
fair.
sign him?
You
No,
buy him
not
at
necessarily
100.
the Prem, but abroad. But yeah, go on.
You sell him for 50. You got a 4P, a treble, domestic trophies.
I would have gotten. I think I would have
more
gotten
money
more
than
in
that.
trouble without him.
Oh, so you're saying he didn't contribute heavily? You think you would have won that without him?
I think if we got into play, if we want to say Jack Grealish is 100% of Jack Grealish's ability,
Yeah.
I think if we had spent money less and got someone that's 80% of his ability, 75, I think we still do the same thing.
That's because of the quality of your outfit, though.
Okay, now here when we talk about because we were talking about the whole intent, we were talking about
Yeah.
players and things of that nature.
That's why
And
you
when it-
build the team that you build, is that you can do that.
No, all fair.
That's
All
why
fair.
That's why, as I told you at the time, it's never happened before. Because even when we won the treble, you lot were favorites for a treble. That is not normal. When Liverpool was on for the quad, they was not favorites for the quad. They was on for the treble this season. They were not favorites. I keep telling you this. You were odds-on favorite for a treble.
Everything.
Okay.
That is not normal.
No,
that
it's
has
not-
never happened before in, when I say this, modern day. So I say
Yeah.
my time. So since the 90s up until now. So whether a team's won a treble or
Yeah.
won a double, they were never odds on. Even our side in 08, when we was on for a treble, we was not odds on for that treble. We was going to be close,
Yeah.
but we weren't odds on. You were
No, I get
clear,
it.
surefire favorites. That
Yeah.
is testament to your board and the squad that they built, that you was there. That's the point that I'm making when
It's-
we talk
it's-
about intent.
When it comes down to this whole
Oh shit, big up talking gas, man.
Yo,
Big up,
large up,
big up,
large
my
up.
guy.
When it comes down to like projected favorites, this is why I'm so calm too, guys. This is why I know the manager I have. This is the billing that I get because of Pep. This is the
And who
the
brought in
halo
your, and
over
who,
his
and
head.
who brought in your manager?
Okay, yes, my
Board.
board brought in my
Who?
manager.
Nah, say don't say it softly. Who brought in talking to the mic,
No, I
my
can
friend,
say it
my
however I
brother? You
want.
say who brought in
My
your board?
board, my board brought in
I mean,
Pep.
who brought in your manager? Sorry, who was
My
it?
board
Now
brought
we
in Pep.
quiet.
No, I'm just saying
okay.
my board brought
So
in
is
Pep.
that not intent going to get one of the greatest managers at the time? Same way, if my manager was
did my
sacked,
club show intent this summer?
who did you sign this summer?
Savinho and an extra year older Gunnigan.
No, not clearly. You lot didn't
Okay.
invest very well, but they tried to rectify it instantly.
Yeah, but they spent
That's
200
and-
in
and
January.
first-
I'm
and
talking
that's what
about
I'm
the
saying.
summer, guys.
No,
It's
no,
still
no,
spent
no,
200
no.
in
I agree
January.
with you. I just answered your question, Vega.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. You got your summer wrong. That is on your board. But what they did instantly, the first time around, they realized, hey, we made a mistake in the summer. We
Fixed
fucked up.
it.
They
Yeah.
attempted to rectify it instantly. They could have easily waited and said, you know what? We just gonna hold off and wait for the summer. You went and signed Mamouche, Kosanov, Gonzalez. I missed one of them. We're talking here with Liverpool not signing a player in 2 years.
And yet you back in
That's
the
the
difference.
difference.
No. What?
Your
Wait.
I keep telling you this. Your club, your board want to dominate and build a dynasty. Most of the clubs owners don't want to do that. FSG don't want to do that. The Glazers don't want to do that. Levy doesn't want to do that. You know who actually wants to do that? The Chelsea board. They're just terrible at what they do, but their intent is to dominate. They're just bad at it. But run me someone who's trying. You don't spend $1 billion in 18 months if you're not trying to dominate. They just spent $1 billion. That's the point that I'm making when I talk about intent. You're going to get it wrong. Of course you're going to get it wrong because it's football. But I guarantee your club is not just going to rest on its laurels as they shown. Awful summer. Agree with you. 110%.
So wait. When we look at these charts, when we look at these charts and we see the spending charts and we see the United spending, what are we saying?
Yes.
We saying your board showing intent because of the volume of spending?
No, they intend to get back in and regard. No, because one, they never put the right people in place. Okay, so I'll explain. Go further.
Okay.
Number one,
part of
they
the
only
equation, isn't it?
Yeah, that's only one part. They only spend big when we're not in the top 4. That's when they spent their biggest. Because when you look at some of our summers, they've been awful. When we've looked like we're gonna kick on. Mourinho's 3rd season, I think we got Lee Grant, Dalot, and somebody else. Something after he's just won. I think, was it the season we won the Carabao? It was after we won the Carabao Cup and the Europa League. 2, the people they put in place to spend the money. Before you got Pep, you had all Pep's people here. Why? They could have easily just went and got Pep. They got all Pep's people here before he got here.
Well, the reason why is because Pep making that move, he's going to want to come to somewhere where obviously he's going to be insulated with people he trusts.
Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. Which makes sense because then if he's got people he trusts around him, he's due to perform better.
Mm-hmm.
Like same way if someone offers me a big load of money for Sarcasm City TV and then says, all right, we giving you all new hosts. I'm going to say no. Because I like working with you 3. I like working with others. But if they say, all right, we've already spoke to Barnes, Pops, and Vader and everyone else, they're on board. This is what they're getting. Now we just need you to finalize it. Okay, I'm over there. Because I know what it is. That's where it stems from. My biggest issue with my board is the people we don't even have footballing people in charge under them.
Okay.
Ed Woodward, who doesn't have you don't have a footballing background. There was no idea. Like they were just like, you know what they looked at is money. That's what it is. It was a money thing. Hey, we're out of Europe. We got no Champions League. Let's spend to get back in the Champions League, and then we spend and we get back in the Champions League.
Okay,
that's
all right. So you guys are like you guys are the boyfriend that don't spend money except for big occasions.
Oh, when she's mad at us for something.
Right. Okay.
Like, we gotta show effort now. That's when we're at. We show effort when she's mad at us and she might leave. All right, cool. Let's do something.
Got it. I hear it.
That's what we're on. It's like, and it shows with our club. Obviously, it may change, but we'll see. But you mentioned certain Vader actually, so we'll get to that. You mentioned about Klopp many a time and how you don't think it was Pep that ran him out of the league. You think it was Arteta. Floor's yours.
Wait, is that up for debate?
I'm letting you give your debate. I'm allowing you to give your argument.
I thought that was common knowledge.
Respond. I disagree with it, but you give your take on it.
No, I honestly let me get comfortable here. I thought that was common knowledge because I think Klopp came to the Prem either a season before or half a season before Pep. So, like Pep's always known this Prem to be with Klopp in it. Until this past season, Klopp's accustomed to like having those battles. They've been cordial. They've been rivals in terms of fighting, but always being respectful. When we got everybody else telling us, "Oh, we need a little more bite, a little more fight in this rivalry." No, these two men respected each other. They knew what it took in terms of trying to get to the top. They were 90+ points to try and win this, suffering one loss, upset when you get draws. Not able to get 12 draws and still win the Prem like Arsenal were able to do it. This was a madness that we were doing over here. But when I talk about what did I say?
Bear in mind, they went unbeaten in that season, but it was a good joke. It's a good word. I can't lie.
When I talk about Klopp and the departure, he was accustomed to the battle with Pep. He got the best of Pep one season. He fell short 2 seasons by 1 point, which was obviously being difficult. But the man still had the endurance for it. The man still had the fight. Imagine, guys, obviously you lived through it. On the final day to lose by 1 point, that would crush many people. That have some fans being like, I'm done with this club, and they keep losing. That have some manager being like, no, this ain't happening. You guys keep telling me what FSG spend and don't spend. This manager was still able to want to fight through that, still persevere. I heard mad quotes where he would basically throw shade over and be like, I would never be like those guys. I would never spend such and such on a player. Mind you, he ended up doing that with Nunes. But he was quick to say he didn't want to be like those guys and still fought. Now, the only time I saw this manager actually have some issue, only this man being a little irritated, was when he was no longer finishing second to Pep. It's when he suffered one season from finishing second to Pep's assistant manager, Pep's cone guy. Now that would irritate anybody. You know what? I hate losing, but I can understand losing to generational Pep. I'm now losing to overhyped, over talked about. Man was just a couple seasons ago over at Manchester City. I'm losing to this guy, a novice, first time on the job. And then to do it 2 years in a row, that's when the managers are like, you know what? I didn't want the word to get out. I'm actually tired. I'm going to call it quits. Yes, I know I just signed a contract extension the year before, but I can't do this anymore. Arteta was the difference maker. All conditions being the same, what was the variable? What switched up? What changed? The challenge of Arteta. Arsenal no longer being the whipping club. Now they were hard fought fights versus Arsenal. This is when Klopp was like, you know what, guys, I'm out of here. I gotta go. That's the only thing that changed in my eyes. What was the variable, guys? What was the difference? What was the factor? What changed? It was Arteta. Pep's been there for years. I thought it was common knowledge, to be honest with you. I don't know why Flawless disagrees. Why would you disagree with that?
Yo, I'm gonna let the Liverpool fans respond. Me and you have had many debates about this. So yeah, I'll let Barnes and Pops, because this is one they've been in the comments for. Obviously, you always got me defending Liverpool out here. It's crazy. Sorry, go on.
Why did Barnes have to turn the hat around? What is it? Was it serious mode now?
Yeah, serious, man. That's what it is. When the hat turns around, it's serious.
You actually said that Klopp left because of Arteta.
Mm-hmm.
Really? You actually said that, Vader? Actually?
Yeah, man. What?
I actually thought you had a brain on top of your head, brother, man.
Whoa.
To say that is wild. First off,
okay.
Arteta, Klopp left because of FSG. Klopp left because Michael Edwards and him don't get along. And Michael Edwards was taking back over this club. Klopp left for a lot of reasons, and it had nothing to do with Arteta. Klopp could care less about Arteta. Klopp took trophies away from Arteta that he couldn't win in cups, and knocked them out the FA Cup, and knocked them out the Carabao, and knew that they wouldn't win the league, and knew that they could never win the Champions League because they've never won it. They've never won anything in Europe. It wasn't because of Arteta that Klopp left. So that's why I asked you again. You actually said that, my man?
Hold on. But if I take a step back and I look at I see how it was that fight between Pep and Klopp. Now, hold on. Barnes, if I were to say that Klopp left because of the beatings he was taking from Pep, would that be believable or no?
Klopp was tired.
And the tiredness was because of what was happening internally or what was happening externally? Because now he's faced another person that he's got to try to beat, and that was Arteta. Now there's another club in the mix, not just Manchester City. Because there's many quotes where he said, I cannot compete. And he was always referencing to Manchester City spend and what we tend to do. We don't do it like Arsenal. Arsenal don't spend like us. So when man was putting out these quotes about I can't compete, he only meant that versus Manchester City. He's now losing to Arteta, where he should be able to compete to. And that's why I was putting 1 and 1 together and coming up with 2, being like, Arteta's the difference here. Arteta is this. Okay, now, you mentioned Edwards. Klopp, will all be fair. I know he didn't win the trophies that he was expected to. But when he was winning those trophies, was this Edwards at Liverpool or was he gone?
Edwards was here when we won the Champions League and when we won the Prem.
Now, Klopp, a man that won those 2 major trophies. That's all you Liverpool guys care about. When it's league, I've heard you guys poo-poo on the League Cup and FA Cup. That's nonsense for you guys. All right, not you, Pops. But when I say Liverpool fans, Pops, I don't mean you literally. You know what I'm saying. Liverpool fans will poo-poo on the League Cup and the FA Cup. You guys care about Champions League and League. I'm talking Liverpool fans, not just you guys. Now, when you guys won those, Edwards was there. And why would Klopp now be tired to now get a man returning who helped him win those majors, and he was not able to win those majors when he was no longer there, to now be tired with him returning?
There was a falling out between the two of them. That's why you saw.
I'll listen. I'll sit back and listen because this is new.
That's why you saw the Edwards left. There was a falling out with what was the other one? Pops. Not Hughes is a new one, but the one that left that came back. No, what's the other guy's name?
Edwards is the one that came back.
Edwards, and then there was the other one, Julian Ward. Julian Ward was the other one.
Julian Ward is the other guy.
Julian Ward was the other one. Klopp had a falling out with both of them men, and then Klopp was in charge of everything. But having to deal with everything, transfers, the ownerships, managing the club, having to deal with a second mate in Pep Linders, who I can't stand, talking in
great first name,
writing books and all sort of nonsense, and talking up in the media like if he's a manager. It has to do your head in. He's also been a manager for so long. He's competed at the highest level. He's going up against City. None of his decision had anything to do with Arteta. Had anything to do with Arsenal. None of it. Because Arsenal is irrelevant. Okay? Arteta finished second the one season. The second season after that, he finished second again. But what happened when we fell off? We got hammered with injuries. That's why we fell off. It had nothing to do with Arteta. It had everything to do with the amount of injuries we had. We, at one point in time, had 8 of the first team, 11 on the injured list.
Okay.
So it had nothing to do with Arteta. His decisions was just, he was tired. He had enough. And to do it when he did it in January, apparently he made up that decision from November. He just never told anyone. He had made up his mind from November. This was going to be it. And he announced it in January when we were competing at the level we were competing at. He announced it then. I think he should have done it at the end of the season, but I understand why he could have done it from a motivation standpoint for his players and so forth. I get the psychology, because psychology in sports goes a long way. I can understand that. But trust me, Vader, this ain't got nothing to do with Arteta. Arteta is not even an afterthought. Big up Barker Riaz. It's not even an afterthought in Klopp's mind at all. It's Pep and Pep alone. You told him had the rivalry from Germany. Carried on.
You rate the core man, right? You are the man. You always defending the core man. Klopp finished third. Klopp finished third.
Yeah.
To flawless his guy. Ollie at the wheel.
Third. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, that's one of his guys as well, Ollie. Not mine. That's big. Yeah.
Why? That's one of your legends.
Why not leave then? And if this is about
yes,
if this is about not battling with Pep, he should have left then.
That was okay.
He was beaten by Ollie.
He was beaten by Ollie.
He should have left then.
Yeah. He was beaten by your guy. Yeah, I'm saying Ollie beat him.
So
everyone is my guy now.
So
everyone just Arteta and Ollie when it comes to managerial stuff. Yeah.
So
both your guys.
Having an issue, right? Klopp's not around.
Do I have an issue with it?
I'm surprised he stayed as long as he did.
Have an issue.
You know what? I think Pep lost a battle, buddy.
He misses it.
Yeah, I think Pep lost.
He misses it.
Absolutely. There's certain things, and we all know this.
You're saying like Batman needing a Joker. Is that what you're like? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, and at the same time, we've all played sports. We know when you go through the season and you maybe whatever league you're in, after a while, you're like, I look forward to these battles. I look forward to know that it's going to be us and them when it goes to the. I think he does miss Klopp and that version of Liverpool. And I know Barnes was taking some shots talking about Pep scratching up his head and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's also recognizing that, you know what, it's still Liverpool that I now have to fight with, but it's a different manager now. And obviously the rapport is going to be different. How he's going to be the whatever that off the pitch friendship that he may have had with Klopp isn't there with Slot. But I think the competition City versus Liverpool is still going to be there. It's just different. He does miss that rivalry because he talked about it heavily. And you could honestly, all jokes aside, when you listen to the press conference and you can hear the respect that these two men had in terms of what it meant to like compete and try to outcoach each other. Yeah, there's no doubt that he's missed. Now,
Arteta's not in the equation, bro. At any given time,
he hasn't earned it yet. He hasn't earned it yet,
and he will never earn it because he's washed. He's horrible as a manager.
No,
Arteta is not rated by me at all. Period.
He's rated by anyone, not Arsenal fans and Vato.
Wait. Hold on. Let's do this maturely right now.
This is mature.
Right. Yeah, this is a man's first job. Would you guys not say that Arsenal are a big club?
Yes.
So Arsenal's a big club for me.
Yes. Yeah. I would say
they're a decent sized club. I ain't call them a big club. They're decent.
Yeah, they're decent.
They've got no European pedigree. I can't call them a big club.
Fair. At club size, fan base, yes, they're big. But in terms of accomplishments, they're not. Yeah. In terms of accomplishments, they're not a big club. Accomplishment wise. But for Arteta to have this as his first job, and I know he faltered 8th, but he's learning on the job, and this is why I do give him rating, because when I see, listen, my professional life, I've seen people just come out of school. I've seen people that have just had an internship or a placement and then go on to do things, right? I can see that there's a manager there in Arteta. Now, will he be able to, and this is why I'm a little lax, a lot more lax than you guys, because I see that him falling short. But I see that him falling short is because you mentioned it, Barnes. You guys knocked him out of winning these trophies, right? I think they bucked up against you guys twice, and you guys knocked him out. He's lost to Pep. So this season, no, he should not. He should have showed that he's better enough. He's good enough. He's learned to still had been in the domestic cups, but he's fallen short. But when he was being knocked out, I'm talking early days, when he's being knocked out by the likes of us, I wasn't crashing on him. First time on the job, and he's losing. No, hold on. Don't do that, Pops.
Exactly.
And he's losing. He's losing to generational managers. He's losing to Klopp. He's losing to Pep. I wasn't going to crash it on him. Like
he lost to Eddie Howe this year in a cup.
That's okay, but this year, I can't.
You know their list of who they've gone. You know the list they've gone out to is crazy, right? When you look at the teams they've gone out to.
Look,
it's not just City and Liverpool and Manchester United. They've gone out to some terrible.
But he has gone out to them.
Yeah.
Right?
And you need to stop giving him leeway for being a learner. That's not our fault. We are judging you for what you are. You keep saying
no, but this is what you say. You say for what he is. It's not what he is. Because
it's his first job. He is a learner. This is his first job.
Yeah, but
we
I'm
don't
not
care about all that. You shouldn't be there. It's like taking someone who's just passed their driving test and putting them in a Formula One car.
Yes.
You're going to be judged as a Formula One driver driving from McLaren or Ferrari or whoever. If you shouldn't be there, that's on you and that's on the people who hired you. We don't care about all that. Everyone knows he shouldn't be at Arsenal. Anyone with a brain and two eyes knows that he should not be at Arsenal. There's no way Arsenal, and I'll say this as a United fan, they are a big club. There's no way for where they're trying to be, where they've been, and what they're trying to do. They should have a manager whose first job is there. Crazy. Wouldn't happen in any other industry. Formula One, for example, Ferrari or McLaren wouldn't take someone who's never drove before, just passed their driving test, and put them in a car and say, "Hey, you're gonna win us the world championship." Wouldn't happen.
Yeah, but
wouldn't happen.
You're being a little unfair here.
How would that? Okay, would that happen?
No, the reason why. Hold on. The reason why.
Liverpool quality, right?
Wait 1 second. The reason why I think Flawless is being a little unfair is because Arteta would have driven in the simulator.
Okay, driving the simulator. Right. That's my point. My point still stands.
No, but I'm just saying,
in the simulator. There's no one who would drive in the simulator and Ferrari would go, yeah, let's pick him to go and race for us this season. Wouldn't happen. Hey, Sai, you're a Formula One guy, and I get to your super chats as well.
Was it
Sai, let me know if that's ever happened. Yeah,
that was division on F2. Where's the
F2? He would have gone into F2.
But no, he would have started from F3 after getting driver's license. He starts at F3 and then go to F2 and then go to F1.
There we go. Start at F3. Don't start at F1, and because you're on the F1 level, we treat you with kid gloves. No, you're at Arsenal football.
I can see a driver. I can see a driver in him. I can see.
So Vader, I get all right. You said that he learning, but to me, he's not learning because they think he's insane. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. Arsenal has progressed over the last seasons. A couple of seasons ago, they were spot on in how they were playing football. In the last few seasons, they've now changed it up and they've gone defensively. Arteta has a weak mentality, which tells me he's not a good manager. He would go into your ground at the Etihad and play not to lose.
Yeah. I spoke on that.
He would go into Liverpool's ground and play not to lose. He would go into St. James's Park and play not to lose. When Liverpool came to the Etihad, when Liverpool goes to the Emirates or goes to Stamford Bridge or goes to St. James's Park, we going in there to win the game. When we came to your ground, we came at you with everything. When you came to our ground, you came to us with everything. Arteta is not like that. He's too passive as a manager, and he should not be at Arsenal. He is who is holding back Arsenal Football Club. For them to go to the next level, they need a different manager. And I'll tell you the reason why. You now spent $750 million over the last 5 seasons, and you've bought 24 different center backs. You still have not addressed your striker. You still have not addressed your wingers because you've got a dead Martinelli and you've got everything on the feet of Saka, and now he's dropping apart. Now you got the nerve to tell your fan base that Saka coming back this season, you should be sacked just for making that comment because you're going to hurt that boy's foot. He just had a knee ACL injury. You talk about he coming back this season. He should see a pitch again till next season.
That's true. That's true.
Hamstring.
They even say that it's hamstring. Thanks, Pops. You cannot even mention his name. He is done for the year. It just shows me what type of manager he is. And he's horrible. He's horrible, bro.
Listen, Barnes. You won't get me defending.
Before you go on, Pops. I know you had the point you wanted to make.
We did it with Nunes. And what did you say? What was your statement? Nunes is not what? Liverpool quality.
Liverpool quality, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Is that the Arsenal quality?
Now that's a difficult.
You got the answer. Yeah,
no, that's a difficult thing to answer because again, this is what no, Pops, don't do that. Because we got to look at things in its totality. Flawless, I don't know why you're all close up in this.
Because I'm listening to it. I want to hear this answer. Okay, that's why. I'm making sure I'm locked in.
Being close up to the screen doesn't help with your ears.
Yeah, man. I'm making sure I'm locked in. I don't want to hear mishear a word. I don't want to miss a facial expression, a hand gesture, nothing. I'm locked in. Sorry.
All right. Wait, I heard United got rid of their body language.
No. Yeah, those pictures United. You got a question to ask.
Oh yeah, we know the game, man. This never
okay.
Cheap.
No. No, listen. My whole thing is because you got to look at things in its totality. Because when Pops wants to ask me, is Arteta Arsenal quality? All right. There's no debate. Pep generational.
How we get to Pep?
No, because I got to bring it full circle. I got to in its totality.
No. It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no, man. You say that Nunes is a yes straight away, not Liverpool quality. Yeah. It's Arteta, Arsenal quality.
Arteta is Arsenal quality because he would have been successful had it not been for City.
Where do you judge Arsenal when you say Arsenal quality? Is Arsenal quality the same as Liverpool quality in your opinion?
No,
they had the same level.
No. Arsenal. So Liverpool quality are multiple trophies within a season. The greed is apparent. The greed is apparent with Liverpool. They're not just about one trophy. They want the chance.
Is Nunes Arsenal quality?
Ooh. Nah, not Nunes isn't Arsenal quality either. He's not Arsenal quality either. Cool. Neither club should have that player. But I want to say, if it weren't for Pep, if it weren't for City, Arsenal, and I know some of you don't like this argument, but Arsenal would have a Prem. 2 points separated them. Now, I don't crash it on Klopp when he was falling short, but knew of how, and again, I know career-wise different. I know resume different, CV different. But for Klopp not to have won to Pep and City, I don't think that Klopp doesn't have the quality to do it.
I crashed it on him.
No, yeah, of course. But
as did everyone else.
When I take that same perspective and I look at Arteta and I'm like, you fell 2 points short in your second season of challenging. You would have done a back-to-back had it not been for City. I can't say that Arteta is not good enough. I can't. Now, does he need to learn? I agree with Barnes, his mentality, because this is where the maturity happens. This is where the experience happens. He doesn't turtle. He doesn't go into a shell and play defensive after being scarred one season and playing more aggressive, playing more front-footed, and then falling short. You don't regress like that, but he has. This is what he needs to learn and improve. He did have a weak mentality. I was talking about it. Arsenal fans were like, "Shut up, Vader. You keep mentioning it." Because Rodri said, "Your mentality. We knew we were winning this league. When you guys showed up at our
that's
house,
when you lot started beefing. That's what it was.
I'm like, you showed up at our house, and Barnes mentioned it. Yes, there would be. Of course, there were draws between Liverpool and City often, but we never went out to play for a draw. We went out to play for a win. We were trying to step on each other's necks. We were trying to rip their hearts out. But it would be a game where we fought, and at the end of the 90 minutes plus, it was a draw. Arsenal, Arteta from the jump, from the whistle, was like, we're going to play and keep this a draw and play for the next game, so we're trying to win this league. Wrong mentality. I agree. Arteta's got to fix up. Arteta's got to learn and improve quicker than he has been. But to say there's not a manager there that can win this league, I do agree. Arsenal fans that want to say, nah, we don't have time for him to learn on the job. Get him out of here, get someone else new. But I think you get rid of him. He obviously sharpens his teeth somewhere else. He sharpens those claws, those weapons.
Go learn elsewhere. That's fair. I don't dispute that. Is he a good manager? Yes. I think he's a good manager. But guess what? Good managers don't win Premier Leagues.
Facts.
There's one manager who's won a Premier League that we class as good. You are great, elite, generational, etc.
Exactly. You said Klopp fell short to Arteta. What point frame that was? How many points was that? High 90s, wasn't it? Any other season, Liverpool winning them titles.
Yes.
Right? Arteta didn't even break 90 points.
Wasn't 89? 89 points?
Nah, 89 points. It's not 90
I ain't the smartest, but 89 is below 90.
It's not 90.
Yeah, if you round up.
Right? He has not even got the invincible mark.
Have done 90 points.
Is the Invincibles, and he has not even hit there, and that's their best season. That's their best season, their best team ever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, every season that Klopp lost to you was high 90s. We are 97, 99.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, 99 was the winners. 99 was winners.
I know you went. 98 was the other one.
Yeah, 97, 98.
That's crazy, man. I want to leave title again.
All right.
Looking at the numbers, any other season, in any other year,
points. One loss.
Yeah.
One loss.
That would I'd still be crying about that.
And you know who the loss was?
Who was the loss? Wait, which one? What game?
Bobby Firmino 15. Wasn't it the Bobby Firmino game, Pops? 15 millimeters.
It was 11 millimeters.
11 millimeters.
Oh, you're talking about the one that got cleared off the line? Was it Stones cleared off the line?
11 millimeters.
I just want to say that game is one of the best games I've watched. It's Stones. In terms of quality, that's one of my favorite games.
11 millimeters, my man.
Stones had to clear it off. Ederson's deflection.
That draw takes us into history. That draw, or that win takes us into Invincible, Centurions. Yeah, we would have wrapped up football already.
Nah, we would have crashed football at that.
Football won that day. We can't have you guys going invincible.
Saying all that.
What? Flawless. Listen to what you're saying.
Football lost because you lot. Football lost because you lot were the two options, but that's a whole different conversation. 115 charges. Talk to us, Vader, man. Reports are coming out saying you could potentially be charged. I don't know if you've seen any of the reports, but your thoughts on it. You've been pretty cool, calm, and collected about it. You're still in the same boat when it comes to 115.
Listen.
I personally don't think anything's going to happen to you either.
Me neither. Although I would like them to get relegated.
Yeah, slap on the wrist. Oh, I'd love to do it. And just to clarify there, just to let you know, if you do get relegated, me and you, the show will continue. Don't worry about that.
Okay. First of all, I didn't need all that extra Barnes. I didn't need to hear you say personally I want them relegated. You didn't need to throw all that out there. All right. And
I sick of Pep. I want you to go transfer ban for about 5 years and relegated. Do things the right way.
Well, hold on. In the country that we all live in, you're innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's this about doing it the right way? Until I'm proven guilty, I've been doing it the right way.
I'm saying if they find you guilty, you can just get a fine, and you're gonna pay the fine, and you're gonna move on your very way. But you've been proven guilty. If you've been proven guilty for me, you should get relegated. You should get a transfer ban for 5 years, and you move, and then you work yourself back up into the Prem. That's just me. I'm just a harsh guy.
Okay, hold on. All right, let me ask you guys this: if what I'm guilty of is equivalent to me jaywalking.
No. You were cooking your books, but my man, that's not equivalent to jaywalking.
No, there's 115. Not all of the 115 are cooking the books.
Yeah. No. There's actually 5 charges or 6 charges.
Yeah.
That was done multiple times. That made it
accounting issues, right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So if I'm guilty of those, that's where you're going to be harsh on, and you're like, hey,
100%.
Okay. But if it's any of the other stuff that's kind of like frilly and
I ain't care about that.
The grass being too long.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Now, I don't have them here in front of me on this desk, but I've got a few cigars, chilling, waiting for the verdict. I probably won't smoke them on screen because I don't want to be that influence to the younger kids. But I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this verdict.
Cigars. You puff cigars. You don't smoke them. That's okay.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of the influence that it shows on I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. I get you.
The reason why I'm calm with it, and Flawless saying that he doesn't think much is going to happen, you guys maybe agree.
I don't either, to be honest.
I don't, and that's because the FA, I've said this about the FA before, they don't punish anybody. The FA don't
punish teams like Everton.
It's like they're called the FA. It's just they should just be F because they're just football. They don't do anything. They don't associate.
You have to get accepted into the lower leagues as well. So the Premiership can't just say leave the Prem and join the association. They have to say, we'll accept you in here. And they're saying, we don't want you.
They're saying,
we've already heard that. The association is saying that they want you. So the worst that happens to you is you get points deduction or something next season.
And you know why I think the association might change their mind is just the money that they would bring.
Oh, yeah. We're top draw. Yeah.
See, you top draw in League 2, of course. Yeah.
No, worldwide. Worldwide. Don't do that.
No, when I say your top draw in League 2, I'm saying your top draw from them, like in regards to
League 2. Oh, the storyline, the narrative, the coverage.
How does that work, though, Flawless? I'm in Division 2. Sell me that. How does City coming into Division 2 get me more money?
Because one, your sellouts all across the league, so your numbers go up in regards to
a lot of them do regular, right? Generally, right?
Nah, I would say so. Nah, I wouldn't. No, not in League 2.
No,
big if you got a Sunderland there or something, or a well-supported outfit, yes.
Right.
But if I start looking at their League 2 teams and start looking at the capacities of those in regards to like City are coming to town, it's a full house. That's why you see in the FA Cup and the League Cup how much it means to them. Secondly, as well, you can now sell. You can now sell TV. You can now sell TV. If City are playing me, this can now be sold not only in the country, but also out the country as well. Yeah. Of course, it's not Manchester United coming to town, but it's still Manchester City. It's still Pep. No, it has to be because there's a difference still. There's still a distinct difference between.
It would be good TV for
you being more successful. No, I can sell that. I can do deals worldwide, like and the storyline as well. No, it's facts though.
No, okay, it's facts. But there's the difference is they're tuning in to watch some beautiful football when they tune in.
City versus Wexford.
Tuning in and watching some comedy. They tune in and watch comedy when they tune in to watch United play.
That's all well and good, but hey, money's money, man, and we know whether they're tuning in to watch comedy or not. You know what I'm saying? And that it don't matter. We still sell more than you lot. Like what we doing? This is why we've been bad for 10 years, and we're still the most seen team on TV. What are we talking about?
Isn't Ryan Reynolds' team in Division 2?
Yeah. Wait, I'm just looking here. So League 2. Let me just read through the teams now.
Yeah, Wrexham.
So you got Walsall, Bradford. Walsall, Bradford City, AFC.
You don't need to do this. We're not going to Division 2.
Doncaster, Notts County, Grimsby Town, Colchester, Crewe, Salford City, Chesterfield, Bromley, Fleetwood, Cheltenham, Swindon Town, Newport, Barrow,
Yeah,
MK Dons,
I get you.
Gillingham, Accrington, Stanley, Harrogate, Tranmere, Morecambe, and Carlisle. So for obviously you got some big clubs there. So like for instance, Bradford City example, like Salford are on the come up, Crew are well known, but for the likes of Fleetwood or Bromley, Manchester City coming to town.
Yeah, love that.
Like that,
love that.
Yeah. That's Canberra's action. Like you can easily sell that. That does so much for the league. Pep on the touchline there. That'd be great. Like you lot will remember.
Hallen there. Hallen ran it.
Pops, you might remember it. It was an FA Cup game, and they had Klopp doing the pre-match interview, and it was like it was next to like the sink. It was next to like, it was like a bathroom or something like that. I can't remember what game it was. It was crazy, and they literally panned away, and there was just a sink there, and it's like this is what it's about type of thing. Yeah, like it's. But I don't think you're getting relegated. But go on, carry on, Vale.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're getting. I don't think I'm getting relegated because I don't think I did anything wrong that they're accusing me of doing. I think there's issues in terms of
let's cut and try that again. That didn't work the first take. Let's cut and let's try it again. Give me a little more sincerity.
No, I don't think we're gonna be found guilty.
Face weren't right. The muscles in the face weren't right.
Let me center up the camera.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be found guilty because I don't think we did anything that they're accusing us of doing. I honestly believe that the aggressiveness, the competitiveness that the club's been showing over the years is the threat to why there's been this microscope over Manchester City. There's one thing when you have clubs that agree. I know you guys are 2 of the 3 members of the Red Cartel, but when you are like, listen, we're going to run this. This is what we're all going to agree to spend. And it's pretty much going to be us going back and forth. When you get the injection of a Chelsea that's like, bun you guys, we're trying to win all that we can. Oh, that's a threat. That's a problem. We're not ready for this. You get another city that's like, yo, I want in. Oh, I'm gonna do whatever it takes in terms of going out and getting the best players. I'm doing that. Oh, yes, I'm new to it. I gotta go. What? You're gonna hit me with FMP? What? PSR? Okay, you're trying to slow me down, but I got my business set. Everything's good. Let's go. The Red Cartel didn't want that competition. I think because of what happened with UEFA, City are buttoned up. If they were guilty of doing a little too much, that's been fixed. That's been righted. I don't think the Prem's going to find any of that. And if they happen to want to question and think, because a lot of it goes back to the sponsorships. A lot of it goes back to, who wants to be a part of Manchester City? It's because who wanted to be a part of Manchester City wasn't part of the norm. These were companies, right? These were members outside of what the Prem was accustomed to seeing. So they didn't like the flow. They didn't like how that was all going down. They're not gonna find anything. Yeah, I'm using quotations because I can't speak for the club. All right, I'm not a representative, so don't quote me on this. All right, don't quote me on this. The Prem never liked another club into the mix. They hated when Chelsea came to it. You guys remember how they talked about Chelsea? You remember how they talked about?
Wait. Who talked about Chelsea? Who? Rivals.
Rivals as well as pundits. Like for what?
Of course, rivals and pundits hated it. Of course.
No, but with regards to Abramovich and what it meant in terms of bringing another club to want to win, the way they talked about it, especially now in hindsight, was like, yo, you guys are way out of pocket. You guys are way out of line. This is an owner that's showing ambition. Yes, they want to talk about you're trying to win titles. But at the same time, you understand you got to spend to get to where you guys were established. So Manchester City, if they've done anything wrong, it's to show that they've wanted to be competitive. If they've done anything wrong, it's definitely not cooking the books, because you know what that slippery slope, you know what the snowball effect is. Well, they cooked the books and they spent money and wrongfully gave money to Mancini, gave money to Yaya, have these fake companies. That's all fraud. That's all federal. That's international. Go ahead, Barnes. What do you want to say?
So how is it that City is the only team in football that posted a positive during COVID,
It's a great question.
It's a great question. And while Vader gets his lie together, I just want to say,
whoa, don't set it up like that.
Word to Lex, run me my charges, 100%. You the success thing, run me my charges. Cook the books, do what needs to be done.
Don't do that.
Run me my charges.
No, don't cook no
he's
books.
Right now. That's for you. Like again, we'll see. Be interesting to see if you lot are found guilty. But hey, run me my charges.
No.
Success
Don't
you
cook
lot.
the books.
I'll take the hit. I'll take the minus points reduction or whatever. That's just me.
Kids, boys and girls listening right now.
No, I ain't saying to the kids, the boys and girls to do. I'm talking about the football club. Yeah, you lot do that. Yes.
No,
they can't get rid of us all.
No. Don't cook the books. No, don't cook the books. Don't do things fraudulently.
They can't get rid of us all. Premier League's nothing without the big six. They can't get rid of us all cheat. What they gonna do?
No, don't cheat. Don't do that.
What they gonna do? If we all decide to start cheating, what exactly are they gonna do?
No, I don't like what this is representing. We're not gonna
exactly because I am the uncomfortable truth here to tell you.
It's not the uncomfortable truth. We don't want
so hypothetically, let's say
for a reason. Don't cheat.
Let's say hypothetically, City get found guilty. And United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea all say, you know what? Scratch this. Let's all cheat. What would the Premier League do?
Come up with a lot more severe rules.
Okay, what would it be? And we just break them again. What are they going to do to stop us from breaking the rule? We're going to break them. What are you going to do? Okay, what's the worst punishment? What's the worst they can do?
It could only be the same punishment you get.
So what they going to do?
The difference is
what? No. Let's not move off of it. What is the more severe punishment that they are going to do?
Exactly. The most severe punishment is financial.
Okay, so fine. Okay, so you're gonna find a billionaire club. All right, cool. Find me.
Okay. What?
Because the thing is, you know what's crazy? Because if you find me and then I can't function, you know who that costs money? You. That's why they won't do it. Of course they will.
No, doesn't.
So you think use Liverpool. Take Liverpool out of the Premier League. Does that not cost the Premier League money?
Maybe temporarily.
Not temporarily. They cost it. If they relegate you, does that not cost them money?
Yeah, temporarily.
No. Again,
Wallace, we're not having this philosophical debate.
It's not philosophical.
Cheating is wrong. No. But again, if you're cheating, it is wrong, and you will be punished for it. So
what is the punishment? Is what I'm saying. They have no power. Is the point I'm making.
No. But you need integrity for your league.
All right, sure. Yeah, because we care about integrity in this league.
What? I don't know.
They don't care about. They don't care. They care about integrity. They care. Look at the referees, but they care about integrity.
No, being competent is a different thing, right?
No, the referees are full of it, bro.
How come the referees don't get punished for poor performances?
I don't know, and we're not going to talk about referees.
Back to the question.
Back to your question, though. Back to my question to you, Vader.
Yeah,
so, how is it that the COVID season you were the only team in world football to show a profit? How does that work?
Listen,
there was no fans in the stadium, no concessions being sold in the stands, nothing. Yeah. And you showed a profit.
I got a few theories.
How is that possible?
I got a few theories on it. And again, I was my early days. I had to obviously be an accountant as a Manchester City fan. That was rule 101, right? I had to be accountant for dummies. I had to make sure I was sharp with my accountant skills as a City fan. Now, the 115, I'm kind of lax on that. I'm not quite an expertise with regards to that. I'm now on the law side. You know what I mean? I'm more on the law side these days. But I'm gonna say this. City have been, and don't do this. City have been on the forefront of many things, right? You want to look at what they did recently with Netflix ahead of the game, selling an internal doc, right? They did their own doc series, sold it to Newcastle. To Netflix. I can't remember how much it was for, but a good penny. They've been on the front, and even with regards to social media, club-wise, we've been doing things a little ahead of the curve. Now, when it comes down to posting revenue or posting positives in that difficult time, pandemic time, I think they got ahead of it with regards to cutting some things off early. Now, when I say that, it's like you talk about concessions, you talk about in-stadium fans. We don't have a large capacity like you guys, right? We don't have a large capacity like United.
True, they don't even show up at a parade.
See,
Yeah, you got big capacity. I think you're like 5th biggest in the Premier
stadium?
League or something like that. You got a big
we
stadium.
do. We've also. I believe we've added since the COVID. Since the
Yeah,
COVID
you've
season
added.
as well.
It is a nice. All jokes aside, it's a nice stadium as well. Very nice.
Yeah, Barnes is being rude about talking about the parade. Relax. Our parade was mad. Unfortunately I wasn't able to go there, but we had our turnout was crazy.
And supporters.
At least we celebrated and had a parade for winning the Prem and not 2 domestic cups. Let's not
Parade's
do
a
this.
bit strong. It was more get together, but I understand the
Let's
point.
not do this. We actually paraded after winning a proper trophy, not the League Cup and FA Cup. You're gonna turn me rude right now. But I just
Toronto Raptors had a bigger parade than Man City.
That's because Toronto Raptors are the club for Canada. That's why they represent all of Canada. There's no other NBA team in Canada.
50 plus,
we're 50 plus what?
50,000 plus.
Capacity? Our seating capacity. Yeah. But we've increased since the COVID time. But the reason I want to point out, because isn't it 60 something over at United or 70 something? What's the number?
United is 70 plus.
Yeah, 70.
I think it's 75 or something.
So when I say all that, and Flawless knows this, Flawless had inflated staff. He talked about he had double the staff that we have, right? So that's people that you got to pay for during a COVID time, right? So if I got less staff, if I have less food that I have to have ready for, if I have to have all less things, if I'm ahead of the game and I'm making sure that I don't pay for those things before I have to, if I'm doing a few things ahead before others, if I also have sponsorships that have signed on because they want to be on board prior to a season coming on, or it hits the books before next season, those are all things that are all legit. Those are all things that maybe aren't like systematic or consistent with other clubs. Yeah, it may look off because I'm the only club, but if we look at it, and I haven't done the forensic accounting, right? Like I said, I put the accounting stuff aside. I'm more getting my law degrees up, you know what I mean? But if we were to look at what were the losses of Liverpool, if you guys showed a negative, what was a negative? If Real Madrid showed a negative, what was a negative? If United showed a negative, what was a negative?
Every team was under. Every team was under.
Now, if I show a positive, what's that positive? Was it 1 million? Was it 500,000? Like, you got to tell me how much of a minus you guys were and how plus. Because again, I think we're nickel and diamond here. It's really not something to really make a big fuss about.
No, because when teams were cutting during COVID, that was a big deal. Remember, and there was uproar across England when people said, "You know what? We're not going to make money, right? So we're going to start to cut staff and furlough." Fans said, "Hey, what are we doing?" The regular people like us said no. Even Flawless said no. I'm going to defend my inflated staff. You pay them. They've done their job. They deserve their money. You pay them. And for sponsors who will sign on for the season before, that revenue would be deferred. So I'm going to take you into the accounting bag. Let's leave the law for a second. So when you get that sponsorship deal ahead of time,
possibly
that's not money you post in the current year. That goes in the following. No, that's factually not possible, because you haven't generated anything to earn that revenue in the current year. So if you've posted it as earned revenue in the current year, then that's the books being cooked. That's what you said. I'm just repeating what you said.
Okay, so I'll clarify though.
If you're saying that, and that's what you've done.
Let me clarify. Now, just hear me out. Realizing that there are no stands. There are no fans in the stands.
Fans. Yeah.
There are no fans in the stands, but the games are still covered. No. There's now more visual inventory, because you can put things where the seated fans would normally be, but you can have displays here. You can have the North American sports here. They had digital fans. You remember when they kind of did the digital fans for NBA, right? So you could see yourself on screen in the stadium. I don't know of the innovation the city happened to do.
That didn't happen in COVID.
Hey, Barnes, Pops, I don't know.
That didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen. But I don't know. I don't know what
I just clarifying.
when Pops was challenging me with regards to sponsorships, again, I didn't do the forensic accounting. I didn't go line by line. But if City were able to generate some sponsors that were taking advantage of no one in the stands, maybe some added visual displays, maybe a sponsor that was going to do something online because that's where everybody was living. Flawless and all of us, we were talking online, we were linking up Zooms, whatever. If City were able to do something innovative, I'm gonna wait and see. I think that us showing a positive isn't a mad one, especially when I look at the subsequent seasons and UEFA have recognized City as the best ran club in the world. You don't do that by accident, and you don't do that without people going through your items line by line. So I'm confident that City are on.
You sure you want to use UEFA as a reference?
Okay, so now we don't like the FA, and now we don't like UEFA. What are we doing here, guys?
No. Did you see the stuff that UEFA been involved with? Come on. Now I can give you a
governing body. They're the governing body.
I'm gonna let Pops deal with it. COVID season, Liverpool lost 70 million.
70 million?
70 million.
Okay.
City had a profit of 41 million.
Okay.
Jack Grealish, basically.
No. Jack Grealish was after.
The difference between us is Jack Grealish. No, I'm just saying 100 million. The difference between
100 million. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Now it would be a matter of now we know the final totals, but it'd be interesting to see what were your minuses, like what cost you guys money, right? What cost us money? What gave you the ability to not have it worse than 70 million, right? Because I would assume that United was probably a lot higher because they had an inflated staff, right? So again, I have the newer stadium. Right, I have the club that was actually winning prior to that because I was winning back to back. I won 2 in a row before COVID hit, so I had that momentum. I had that influx of winning before that hit. You guys were obviously on the ascendancy,
but we were the Champions League winners.
We were the European champions.
Yeah, you're European champions, but you've been European champions before. Does that really? Has that really? I've heard it from Liverpool fans. I'm not going to call you guys out, but I've heard it from Liverpool fans saying that the Prem is what you guys really want.
But the money, though, we talk about the money. We won.
No, but you're talking financially before. There's no financially.
So that no rolls into the COVID season.
You were the league champions. We were the European champions going into the season.
You were the European champions going into it. I was the Prem champions 2 years in a row going into it. And we know that the payoff in terms of winning the Prem, I believe it's actually higher than champs. I believe it's higher than champs. I could be wrong. Yeah. But we had that 2 in a row. So I'm just saying a couple things in our favor. Again, this past year, if we want to talk about this past year, I had record revenue. Manchester City registered record revenue this past year. So I believe we've been doing things on the up and up. I believe my ownership has come into this. They've invested in the community, in the area. We're not.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. Around there is very nice. It's very nice.
You know what I mean?
It's not too far from
We're inspiring the red side of Manchester to try and do the same. You see them trying to do a new stadium. You see them trying to improve themselves.
Vader, I got a suggestion. You better call Saul.
Nah, man, we're good. We're good.
I mean, ask you Vader before we move on from that. Has there actually been, because I see I ask this question all the time, has there actually been a date of when there's supposed to be a verdict of these 115 charges? Because it seems it just lingers on.
Yeah,
is there an actual date though, or is it still just
no? We can't give a date. We can't give a date because the date isn't dramatic enough. The date isn't suspenseful. You know what happens every international break? Every international break, we want to talk about the 115, right? Have you noticed the last few years? Big YouTube accounts want to talk about it. You know, some of these other football channels, they want to talk about it
because it could be the downfall of you lot. So of course,
so we got to keep it lingering. We got to keep
using forget all that. But that's not UEFA or FA or whoever's involved.
No, it is.
Surely there be the governing bodies and the associations involved.
They want it lingering. It's good clicks.
Yeah,
it's good click and engagement.
It's gonna happen to you, lot. As much as I'd love it to happen, nothing.
Wait, why would you love it to happen?
That'd be great. What to see? Why would I like my rivals to be relegated?
You know why? I'm gonna break this down.
Wait,
real.
Hold on. Did you just really ask me why I'd love to see my rivals relegated?
Yeah, because it messes you up.
How?
Because it messes you up because you're quick to be like, look at my owners. Look what my club's doing. Look at what these other clubs are doing. They're not serious. Mm-hmm. If it happened to be the only reason why you guys aren't serious is because another club was cheating, that cancels out your whole being upset with your owners, with your club.
Okay.
That cancels out all these other rivals doing it.
I killed this dead. When did you lot become successful? What year? What was the year you won your first league title?
Is successful winning one?
Yeah, when did you start your success? Yeah, or whatever you deem success. Whatever you.
No. I want to ask you: is successful winning one prem? Just so we're clear.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's a success. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that's a success. And would you need to win it in what? Every 2 years? Every 5 years? Every 10 years? What's success?
It depends. What's sustained success?
Yeah, what's sustained success?
Yeah, one every 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
One every 3 years is sustained success of Premier League titles. Yes, 100%.
Okay, all right, one every 3 years. So yeah.
So what year would you say is be success for you?
According to that, was 2012.
So 2012. Okay, and the Glazers took over United when?
The Glazers.
Yeah, when did they take? Because you mentioned my ownership.
05? Was it what?
05. Okay, and was there not protests from 05?
Don't do this. No,
We're doing it off what you said. Because you said you lot, because of you lot being ran so well, that would take my argument down of us being unsuccessful. Bear in mind, when you lot weren't around, because 2005, what division were you lot in? Were you lot even in the Premier times? Exactly. Yes. So point proven. We don't even know. We don't care. We don't know where.
No, stop doing that. Yes, we were in the Prem. Stop it. We were in the Prem.
You in the Prem in 05? Legit, yeah. I can't remember. I don't know if he was Division 1 or Championship them times.
It doesn't. All right,
they took over. I get your point. From 2005 all the way up until 2012, your unsuccessful period. Why were we still? And we were successful during that period, actually.
You were successful.
Yeah, sustained success.
Yeah,
sustained success. We were still complaining then because our barometer of success isn't based off of you lot, and actually, I can only speak for me.
Yeah, you guys were upset.
City, or Liverpool or whoever else. I just want because I'm not tricked by success. This is why, even though we were 3-peating, I'm not tricked by success. This is why I had a green and gold scarf I still got now. Why did I have it back then when we're being successful?
No, I get it that you have it.
So that's my point. So
no. We're not gonna I'm not gonna let you off the hook like that. No, I'm not gonna let you off.
Let me off the hook. What?
So you protested in 05.
Yes.
All right. So did you protest in 06?
You know who you can ask.
No. Okay, now you're gonna make me do this. Okay, so you protested in 05.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
Because you said what? Every year?
I protest every year. Yes. I've been saying Glazers out since the beginning up until now. It's been 05. It's been 20 years.
Okay.
Don't believe me. You know who you can ask? Ask Yancy. Because she's been in my yard with where the scarf is. She threw my scarf out the window. Crazy story.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, you don't wrong the queen, so she'll throw your scarf.
I'm being deadly serious. This was like 2011.
No, I believe you.
Yeah, you can ask her yourself.
Yeah, I believe the queen. Now,
what are we talking about here?
No, because my point is, if you were protesting in 05 because you didn't like how the Glazers became owners of United. That was you protesting wasn't realizing how they were going to run the club. You're protesting.
I had a great idea.
Okay, you had a great idea, but since 05, you still went on to win. Yes. So you had an idea.
We still protested them because, like I've said to you before, even though we won in that period, we should have won more. And if we had a serious ownership, we would have won more. We were ran like shit and still 3-peated. Still won however many Premier Leagues, a double, a Prem and a Champs together, FA Cups, all these things. So imagine we had serious ownership, what we could have done, and we might be in a better place now. Like you spoke about Grealish and spending that money better. This is a whole club we're talking about. We might have been in a better place. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, there's a might for a lot. But my point with regards to you protested how they became owners. I get all that. There was no envisioning how they were going to run the club. Yeah, you didn't like how they came.
No, there was an idea. There was an idea.
But where would they?
Because they weren't footballing people. There was no statements. They didn't say anything.
Okay.
One thing this new ownership's done already is say, we plan to do this, this, and this, and this. They acquired Manchester United and said nothing. That already is a red flag.
Okay. Now, I would also ask you, you had the Glazers, you had Sir Alex. Are you looking over your shoulder and then saying you would want a situation anywhere else? You would not have wanted the situation over at Liverpool at that time. No. You would not have wanted the situation over at City at that time. You have not wanted.
You're talking 2005.
2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. You would not have wanted. You would have wanted your situation because you had the best manager and you had owners that you obviously didn't like, but you were still winning. You look across the board at all those other clubs, you still have the better situation.
Yeah, but just because my situation is better than yours, if my situation isn't good, I'm still going to complain because we didn't have Real Madrid situation at that point.
I
understand,
but
run me that situation. The Chelsea situation was good as well. Run me the Chelsea situation. No, 05. Run me the Chelsea situation. That's a better situation. Got you. Thank you, CP.
No. So wait, since 05, you would have wanted what Chelsea had 05 till now than what United had?
Only over as Roman as an owner. Yes.
No. I'm talking 05.
Yes.
You would have wanted what Chelsea had from 05 till now than what United had.
Are you talking about what they've won or you're talking about ownership? That's two different things.
Both. Because you want to talk about both.
No, what they've won. Of course not, because we won more. But
Thank
ownership,
you.
Yes. Ownership, yes.
No, but they go hand in hand. This is
hand in hand. Yes, because this is what I keep telling you. We won in spite of
different levels.
This is what you keep missing.
Levels.
No,
we won in spite of them.
Flawless.
We won.
If you have that ownership, you don't have Sir Alex Ferguson for that long a time because over 2 years or a dip, he's out the door. You can't have. Oh, guys, what are we doing here?
No chance.
What are we doing here?
You know what? You know how this goes full circle because you know what Fergie never did that got them to question him because they were all about the money. He kept us in Europe. It's all about Champions League for them because it's a money grab. See how people, when you're consistent with what you're saying, see how things come full circle. Because I said this earlier on in the show about top four. Like that's all they cared about. And also we were still mad profitable and we had two goals. Not only did we have Sir Alex Ferguson, we also had David Gill. So they just looked into a situation where they walked in, where they had two absolute kings of their field. Because as soon as those two left, look what happened.
Okay, but this is what I want to get at. When you want to talk about ownership, you have to talk about manager and you have to talk about this situation. And we like to use a relationship analogy. Nah, if your girl's always looking at, oh, look at Susie and her boyfriend, he does this. Oh, look at Jenny and no. You ain't looking all over there and picking the best of all those other situations. At United, from 05 on, you have what we all wanted. And if you want to talk
2005 to when, because it stopped somewhere. So when's the stop?
When do you want it to stop? You want to talk?
When did it stop?
So
probably when Fergie left. So we'll probably say,
we'll
say 05. Right? We'll say 2005 to 13. I think that's
2005 to 13.
I think
you're not trading that with any other club.
No.
So that's the point I'm trying to make. You were just because
wait. Just because I'm not trading it with another club in the Premier League doesn't mean we're moved well. I traded with Real Madrid.
Again, Jenny's over there looking at
forget all that. No. Just because you don't like it now. No. It's not what I'm doing. I would trade. You just said you don't like the fact that there's someone else that's
wait. I don't. Real Madrid, 05 to 13. You would want. Hold on.
Did they win in that period? They might.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, let's be careful here. 05 to 13.
Again,
Real Madrid
go hand in hand. I have to check. Board wise, I'd always take their board. For the most part.
But their board had their stint of not doing what, again, them being the standard is all about.
For what we keep talking about is intent. Decisions. They were going to be successful more likely than us. If someone would have told me, hey, from when Fergie left from 2013, in the next till 2025, who's going to be more successful, Manchester United or Real Madrid? I'm going to tell you Real Madrid. Why do they consistently win? Even though they went 12 years without a Champions League in a period. Actually, when did they start? Yeah, it was just one.
Barnes and Pops.
Okay.
Here's where sometimes Flawless and I go back and forth for a while, and we can't really get to a resolution. Is because
they know.
Yeah, if you wanna pick 05 to 13, and you got the best situation, and then when your situation's not that good, you're then now
stop doing that. I didn't have the best situation.
You did have the best situation.
I did not have the best situation.
Who had a better run from 05 to 13?
Even like CP saying Chelsea had one. They won more than us in that period.
05 to 2013.
Yes, they won more than us. Yes, won the same amount of Prems, and they won 2 Champions Leagues in that. Now what?
When did you last win? You last won your Prem in 13 when he left.
Yes.
You last won your Champions League in
08.
9. 08. Yeah.
No, it was 07, 08.
And you three-peated when?
From 05 to
05, 06, 07.
06, 07, 08. 06, 07.
How is that? How is Chelsea's run better?
I don't know. He's saying that. You could be wrong.
That doesn't make sense.
All right, cool. But the point that I'm making is just because ours was better than yours doesn't mean it was the best. We should have won more.
I know you're greedy like Barnes. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Just because you're not used to being a dynasty, but that's what that is.
No, Chelsea's gone beyond the period. That's why the Chelsea window isn't to 12. It's because it's including the 10 years that you haven't won it. They've won more since. Since Fergie, so it's post Fergie. Yeah,
exactly. We won. This is why I keep saying we won in spite of them, because once those 2 people left, who I keep referencing, we got nowhere near a league title or a Champions League. What's the closest we've been back to a Champions League in that period?
I don't know. I don't watch.
Now you don't know.
I think when Ollie was at the wheel, but when I want to
Ollie and Boys actually, they both reached the quarterfinal.
Okay, there we go. So. But when I want to talk about some of you guys moving a little too greedy, right? Is because when you had your run, footballs and cycles, Pops, Barnes, we know this. You guys had your stint of being successful, winning it. You had to take a drop a little bit. Yes, you were flirting here and winning your Champions League, but in terms of being there, it's cycles. So when I hear Flawless talk about, he had his run despite, and then when it's no longer the perfect storm with what you had in terms of the board, what you had with Fergie.
We had our cycle of being unsuccessful under Fergie. This is where this is the myth.
You had your cycle of being
we had a cycle. Yes. We went.
What, its first 4 years?
No, we had that. But no, initially after being successful, we had 3 years without winning a league title, which is a travesty at the time.
Oh my gosh. See,
that is a travesty.
I'm never going to get to that level.
Exactly, because you're Manchester City, so you have no idea what it's like here. So I'll explain it to you. Like, we're built different over here. So 3 years without a league title after having so much success.
Where were you before Fergie? This arrogance in terms of I expect all this. You didn't have it before Fergie. What are you talking about?
This was during Fergie's era, because you're not listening right now. Fergie, no, pay attention. No. Fergie had success. Then when Mourinho first came in and Arsenal had the Invincibles, which was early 2000s, we went 3 years without a trophy. Without the league title. That is terrible.
Listen to yourself.
What do you mean?
That's a travesty?
Of course it's a travesty. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Because we fell away. Look at our teams.
You have to remember something. They won 7 of the first 10 premierships.
Yes. So we won 7 out of 10. So
then they won
without 3.
Then they won
Pops,
5
there was
of the
football
next
before
10.
that.
And also, Veto, we wasn't
and they only won 1 in that 10 after that, though.
And also on top of that,
in the 30
Pops,
years,
there was football before that, though.
How they done it.
Yeah, of course. And it was a travesty what happened then. That's why
it was
a travesty before that.
Man, this guy don't understand. Just because, for like 100, like for you've been around 100 years and like 80 something years, you lot have been awful, so you lot don't know what it's like. It's a travesty when we was unsuccessful. Before my time, before I was born, it was a travesty them times. This is why managers were sacked. You can do the Googles yourself and see a list of managers that. Bear in mind, you know about Sir Matt Busby, right? So he's one of the greatest managers we've ever seen. So therefore, yes, having that success and then falling away is a travesty. 100%.
Okay.
But you lot have never had that and then falling away to know what that's like. But it will happen though. So it'll be interesting to see your energy when that happens.
If I'm finishing second or third and I happen to not win the league for 3 years, I'm not going to come on here and talk about it's a travesty.
Yeah, because you're Manchester City. Only City fans would say that. United
fan
wouldn't say that.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do. No, it has nothing.
It's a United fan that doesn't think that's a travesty. Find me a United fan that was born 90s, 80s, or before that.
Because I
and
know
doesn't think it's a
spoiled
travesty.
brats that only know winning
not
doesn't
bad.
mean that it is.
Success. No, it's success.
No.
It's holding your club to a high standard.
That's not normal,
That's what it
though. No, that run you had is not normal.
Yes, but
So-
the aim should be to get, and again,
But
it
it's
comes
not a
back to intent.
because it's
The
not
aim
normal.
should
It's
be
not a
to get back
travesty
to
when
get
it
there.
doesn't happen.
No,
Flawless.
it is. No, it's
Oh
an aim when
my
you fail. No,
goodness.
It's it's a travesty when you don't aim to do that. And our board don't aim to do that.
No, your board was
That's it.
clearly aiming to do that because you,
No, they
you
wasn't.
fell off.
No, they wasn't.
Flawless.
No, they wasn't. The Glazers have never done that. No, they haven't. What are we talking about?
If
No, they haven't.
Arsenal,
The Glazers
Arsenal-
didn't even have a director of football in charge, but you're telling me that they was trying. Come on, man. What we doing out here?
Arsenal
They
had
even
a
have football
3-year.
people in charge.
Arsenal had a 3-year run. Chelsea had their 2-year run or 3-year run where they
No,
were.
Chelsea
able
had
to...
a 2-year. No, Chelsea had a 2-year, and Arsenal was 1.
Okay, so in
Mhm.
that pocket of them doing their madness,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have Flawless and his other United people being like, it's a travesty we're not winning when these guys are doing
No,
their
about
madness
intent.
for
No, it's
3
intent.
years.
If we would have fell short, like because they was better,
You
I
did
hear
fall
that.
short.
But if we would have fell short, like being second, we didn't even fall short, like being second or competing. We weren't even competing. Go back and look at them teams.
You weren't competing.
No, go back and look at the team. Go
Nah.
back and look. You have internet. Go Google the tables. Go Google the squad.
Let's
Go
look at
Google
the
the squad.
no. Let's look at the standings.
Go look at the
Because-
standings.
Okay, so the standings, were you falling outside of third?
No, we finished third. I think 2 out of 3 we finished third. I think
2 out of the 3 you finished third, so you would have finished second.
And third
Yeah.
is terrible. Third is terrible.
Okay, no, see, we're different.
Third is
We're
terrible.
different. Listen,
Of course,
no,
we're
no,
different because you're
I'm-
Manchester
I'm
City
gonna-
and Manchester United. That's the difference. Yeah, I get it.
No.
You lot have no history, so I understand it. You lot don't know what it's like to.
If I gotta have some bakes and some corned beef for a while, it's not a travesty.
Yeah, that's you.
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
that's you.
But you're
To me, that
no,
is-
no. This,
When football in royalty, you don't know nothing about that. That's the difference. We're football in royalty. We put the country on our back. Like that's the reason why there's so much money in the Premier League is mainly because of us.
No,
Don't forget that. Of course,
it could have been any other club. But
It
you
could have
happen
been, but
to
it
be
wasn't.
you happen to be lucky
couldn't-
that it was your
could-
club.
It couldn't have been. There's no luck involved. There's no luck involved. We were aiming to be the best. That's why we went and got Sir Alex at the time.
To be fair,
any
Flo,
club-
to
any
be fair,
club-
Bea, they
Go
did
ahead.
no. They made the move.
Yes.
United was a big team, right? They weren't the
Mhm.
biggest, but they made the right move at the right time. So they made the move.
Yes, you guys
England
were the
suffered
biggest
because of the
before their
European
run
ban
popped.
for that.
I got
period.
Flawless
Yeah,
talking reckless
Yeah, but
out
we
here.
suffered because of the ban, though.
Yeah,
But
the
the
ban is what
the
killed
ban
us.
from Europe killed English football, and it killed us more because
that's
we
why
had
I
a
mentioned
longer
luck.
ban.
That's why I want to mention luck.
When preparation meets luck, what do you get? Success. That's what they say, right?
Mhm.
United were best prepared for the next move. So when the Premiership turned on, they were in prime position because they already had the same deals that the sponsorship and those
Yep.
sort of things. They were already there. So
Mhm.
when that tap turned on, they were drinking the best because they made that
Yep.
move first.
Yeah,
As
And
a
you know what we
Liverpool
kept
fan,
doing
we
as
were
well?
saying, okay, you know,
Yeah.
we'll never go this length of time without winning because it's the 90s. We'll rebuild and
Mhm.
go again.
Mhm.
They jumped off to a level where it was, you know what, they're gone. They left us and Everton because Everton would have been the team in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
Behind, long way. 7 in 10 makes you into this. Fergie never finishing below third makes you into what Flawless is saying.
no, I
It's
hear
a
it.
travesty
And
to be
even
anything
before
else
that,
than
what
third.
we
No,
didn't
there
do
was
was-
no fourth. There was no us barely being second. They were the winners. They had the biggest stadium. They had the biggest budget. They were the bullies, as you said.
Yeah,
If you ask other people, they would say, well, they had all the refs on their side and whatever you want to say. 7 in
Oh,
10
they had
says
the refs.
you've
We know that.
Yeah, good.
dominated. You've dominated the first decade,
Pay him now.
but it just
I'm
fell
all
off
for
from
it.
there.
I'm all for
7
it.
went
Pay
to
him
5, went to 1,
This guy's
which is
so-
why we enjoy
we
the
doing?
suffering, Beta. You must enjoy their suffering. 7 went to 5, went to 1. Let
What
them
we talking
suffer.
about? The man telling me,
Long
oh,
may
you
they
should be-
suffer.
It's not a travesty when you go 3 years.
Enjoy
without-
them
like,
in
no,
13, 14,
it
15.
definitely
No,
is.
no,
Enjoy
no.
it.
A travesty is 10.
Bathe
And
in
it-
the
and it
glory
can.
of them
No,
being
that's
13, 14,
absolute.
15.
That's absolutely diabolical. But like I said, it's the way you do it. Losing is one thing because we lost under Fergie. I have no issue with losing. That's not my problem.
Okay.
It's the way you lose. If we lose and we're at our very best and we just get beaten by a better side with a better manager, which has happened, I hold my hands up. Arsenal
Okay.
sides we got beat by were just better than us at times. That is fine. Sides we got beat by, some of the sides actually in Europe, we got beat by were better sides. I hear it. Hold my hands up. But some of them sides, no, we fell short. It was because of us. And in regards to the board, that's why I have issue with them in later years. They made that what they kept doing early on was keeping those high standards. They didn't think like you. This is why we kept sacking managers until we got to 30. When people say, oh, you can't keep sacking managers, yes, you can. You keep sacking managers.
I got no problem with you guys sacking your managers. Go ahead.
No, not you, but people have that. People say you can't keep sacking managers, but yet you'll sit there and defend Arteta for 8-9 years. But
that's where Arteta gonna get sacked.
Has Arteta been here for 9 years?
No, but you said when we had it, he's been here too long. He's been here got 5 years.
5 years is not too long.
5 years after 800 million spent and you've won nothing. So okay, so I ask you the question: when does he have to win a Premier League or Champions League then?
Next season.
Well, he was supposed to win it this season.
Well, we know that's not happening, and I told you this at the start of the season that they were
now.
In the league.
Now here's where I'm a balanced individual. Here's where I'm looking at things in its totality.
Go on.
If this novice manager, if this former Pep's cone guy, if he happens, I don't think he's going to do it. But if he happens to get past Real Madrid,
oh, stop it!
No, hold it, Barnes.
That's not why I asked. And we do this afterwards. I just need to know when, in your opinion, when should he be sacked? He spent 700 million. He's been here almost 5 years. Let's say they don't win the Champions League this year. They ain't gonna win the Premier.
No, I don't think they're winning the Champions League.
Okay, so it'll be so we all in agreement. It'll be 5 years.
But if he shows to be able to beat Ancelotti,
forget all that. Even if they beat Ancelotti and go out to Villa, or let's say they reach the final and lose to Barcelona, they lose wherever they want to lose. That's
next season's his last season. Next season.
Okay, we got there. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
it. The circumstances of this season, right? Barnes mentioned it. Barnes mentioned when Liverpool fell off. He said, I believe he said 8 of the starters were out, right? He recognized injuries and its impact. All right. Now, I would think that Pops, Barnes, being intelligent men themselves, if they happen to lose Van Dijk and Salah this season, and we're still, I know there are points off, 12 points or whatever, but if they happen to be second in the league, fending off a City, a Chelsea, without Van Dijk and a Salah, like Arteta's doing or has done, and he had to do that without Saka, he had to do that without, at times he had to do that without.
So are you saying injuries is a problem for Arsenal? That's what you're saying.
I think injuries impacted them hugely this year.
Okay, cool. And how much money has he spent?
700 million.
Okay, so if you spent 700 million, your squad should be pretty much complete to deal with these injuries.
Agreed.
That means
I don't know. No. We've seen 102. We've seen 1.2 billion spent at Chelsea, and they still don't have a squad. So okay, cool. I'm not going to do that.
What did you just say? Nope. What did you just say? Chelsea has spent what?
Billion
and still don't have a what?
They still don't have a squad.
Okay, so that means they've also spent it poorly.
It means that even when you almost double that, you can fall short when injuries hit
exactly. You. No, they both spent it poorly. They both spent poorly.
Okay.
If my team spent 700 million,
I've spent poorly. You spent poorly.
Yeah, we spent very poorly.
Okay.
So we've seen what happens when you spend well. We've seen what happened. We've seen you lot spend well. Go on, Pops.
We've spent nothing. We've spent nothing and we're on top.
Right.
To match what you just said, Arteta ran his team into the ground for 2 years. A lot of our fans say Klopp ran our team into the ground, which is why we had issues this time at the end of last season. The new manager has looked at the season differently, run them differently. Now they're still available. If I agree
do you agree that Klopp ran the players out? Ran your players to the ground.
He did run them in the ground with his style.
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
But
all this
the reason for that though is
2026 summer. Sorry, go.
If you only have 11 and you play the 11 over and over, then that's what's going to happen naturally. So our new coach is actually doing a similar thing as well. But what he's done is he's elongated the period of time where he didn't have to deal with the injuries. Arteta has a lot of muscular issues. When you have a lot of muscular issues, then you have to ask yourself a question. Am I overtraining? Am I overplaying? Is there an issue for me now internally, not just how many players I've bought? It's I'm looking at Saka's limps every game. Now, why is he limping every game?
Now because that's what he does. But when I want to talk about
in your opinion,
I think it is a mistake, but at the same time, when you have a Klopp how many years as a veteran manager, he also makes the same mistake. And we've got a 5-year novice making a similar mistake. This is where I keep saying, no, hold on. Klopp with his years of experience.
No. Because you're missing one variable. Well, he's had $750 million to spend.
And there's another thing.
Nowhere close to that money.
And outside of the and outside of the 750 million, and I hate to say this as a United fan, you know what Klopp did? Win.
Listen,
he won.
Stop.
So Klopp didn't win.
No, Klopp did win, but when we got to be careful with this, with how we're throwing around the 700 million. Please, because
Arsenal weren't careful with it, so why should we be?
Because we're balanced.
Or
I'll be the balanced one.
They paid much more than us. Why am I balanced when it comes to Arsenal?
I'll be the balanced one.
As it is, you man wasted the money. This is why you're here, not you, but this is why you hear Arsenal fans complaining about injuries and the squad. If you spend 700 million on a squad and a couple, and it's 2 injuries, it's literally a couple of injuries. It's not 5, 6, 7 injuries. It's literally a couple of injuries cost you like this. That tells you all you need to know. If you spend 700 million and Havertz and Martinelli are part of your best front three, guess what? That's your fault. It's your stupid ass fault. This is where you guys keep labeling me as a defender, and it's messed up. I'm Luke Cage out here defending all this. I'm gonna point out when it happened to be my club, and I was trying to win that my first attempt at a three-peat fell short. I had center back injuries. Laporte, right?
I had Laporte. I had injuries. Yes, I had injuries, and that's when I got Diaz following up. But I had injuries at center back. When you guys weren't able to defend your title, right? You guys suffered a lot of injuries. Your manager was putting Henderson at center back. Your manager was trying to put Henderson playing center back. So I understand what injuries can affect you not challenging for a title. Arteta isn't challenging for a title. He's still second in the league with this squad. You want to say that they spent poorly? Yes. But to fall off the way they have, it's all happened to us. And it's happened to us with better board, with a better manager. So I don't crash it on Arteta when he's not the seasoned coach. Let me finish, Wallace. Don't step on this one. I don't crash it on Arteta that much when he's not as experienced as a Klopp and a Pep, who also weren't able to keep their winning when they had these injuries. I'm just balanced that way.
Arteta's not win. Don't do that. Arteta's not win, so let's not do that.
He's won an FA Cup.
Okay, so is that what
not with his squad?
Okay, so he won an FA Cup.
Squad.
Oh, so what's Slot doing?
What do you mean?
Is he winning with Klopp's? Who's he winning with? Oh, come on. So, but you just said it yourself. It's someone else's squad, but he's managing the better. I'm gonna give Arteta credit for managing Emery's squad better.
That's not what he was brought in to do. He won an FA Cup. Yes, that's not what you don't spend 700 million for an FA Cup.
Hold on, no. Before 700 million was spent, he won an FA Cup.
Yes, okay. So then what's he done since? Okay,
and he's won nothing with 700 million spent. That's even worse.
So
that's even worse, Peter.
He hasn't won anything because of Manchester City treble in 4P. We did a madness, guys.
He's not good enough.
So you're telling me
he was good enough? We did a madness. We did something nothing's been done in the league before. It's right behind me, guys. It's there for you guys to read.
He didn't
win because we did a madness.
He was on top. No, he bottled it because they was on top of the league for 93% of the time.
It's true.
That's what happened. 93% of the time he was on top of the league for and didn't win. You know what that is?
He couldn't win a Europa, getting knocked out by Sporting. He couldn't win a Europa.
The other trophies, I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's also it.
So he's won nothing. He spent 700 million and has won 0 trophies.
I agree.
750 spent.
You've gone backwards.
He needs to be sacked.
Nah, keep him.
Next year.
Keep him though, because they're ready for it again.
Nah, keep him.
Let him have a 4P to finish the segment.
I want a proper 3-horse race next season.
Yeah, and then you gonna have me nervous.
The shield.
You want charity.
Wait, what?
Get out of
here. The charity shield. That's a wild one. That's a wild one. Yeah, he was wrong for that. They were wrong for that. But I want
to stay out of the Vader playbook. That we'll go on carry on as you would.
What's out of the Vader playbook? What are we doing?
That's saying you would pull about the community shield.
No, I would never do that.
700 M spent and man is still defending him. Crazy work. But we move.
I think as the individual that I am, with the experiences that I've lived, seeing my club, my manager, who we would all say is the best, he fell short with injuries defensively. You guys, great manager, I rate Klopp. He fell short with injuries defensively. When I want to look at what Arteta had to suffer, 93% leading the league and lost Saliba. Again, he should have.
The difference is those two managers won. He hasn't won. This is what you'd miss. If he would have won one of the Prems, we're not having this conversation.
Facts.
That shuts everyone up. If he won one Prem, I'll sit here and go, I got it wrong. Hey, props to Arsenal, props to Arteta. I didn't think you lot could do it. You lot won the Premier League. Big up, salute. Hats off to you. All rivalry, bants, jokes aside, props to you. Because I give props to any manager and any team that wins the Premier League, whether it's my own rivals or not. But he won't. And we're going to be sat here having the same conversation in 24th of the 3rd, 2026.
Yeah.
When Arsenal are probably out of the title race. And you'll be like, maybe they can turn it around.
He had a comfortable lead, lost Saliba, and bottled it. One player.
They blame Rob Holding. Yeah, they blame Rob Holding. Like every league that Fergie lost, he didn't have injuries.
It doesn't matter. One player, and you bottled it with
Fergie that grace. We never lost one of the leagues with a full strength squad. Never. There was always an injury. So does Fergie get that same grace?
Wait, what?
All them leagues we lost in the night. All them leagues we lost, because you can watch Premier League years in the 90s and early 2000s. We never had a fully fit squad. Somebody got injured. Whether it's our captain, whether it's a Pallister, a Keane, a Bruce, does Fergie get that same grace? We lost the league title, I think, to a point.
What grace are you asking for? No one was calling for him to be fired.
Say that again.
You guys are no one was asking Fergie to be fired or sacked. You guys are asking for Arteta to be sacked. I'm giving the same grace.
Actually, that's a lie. When we went 3 years without it, that was the conversation.
Yeah, because it was a travesty or whatever nonsense you guys were saying.
Yeah, it wasn't conversation because it's levels over here. That's why.
Okay, but I'm not.
That's why your manager can go 1-12 and no one will really talk about it. No one will care about you.
I wouldn't have called your manager to be sacked after not winning the league.
Not to be sacked. I'm saying does Fergie get that same grace? Because you called, you got so all right, cool. So Fergie gets that same grace, cool. All right.
Yeah, Fergie would get the grace. He'd be like, "Oh, he fell off this season, whatever, wasn't able to manage it. Cool, we move."
Because we would have 4-peated and all them things there. We would have done all of that.
Yeah, it takes a special club to 4.
No. Injuries give him that same grace. We had injuries the season that he didn't 4-peat. Give him that same grace. We would have 4-peated.
The year you didn't 4-peat, you had injuries?
The 2 years, yes. The 2 years we didn't 4-peat because we 3-peated twice.
Well,
then the years that we didn't 3, and then a couple years we didn't 3-peat.
Yeah,
we had injuries. So give us grace for that too. We would have had more 3-peats and more 4-peats.
Yeah.
So does Fergie get that same grace?
I would have had a 3-peat if I didn't have injuries when these guys won it.
And that is not true. Don't even say that, because regardless of your injuries, regardless of your injuries that season, we had you done by December. You knew that league was finished by December.
23 or 24.
Okay.
Bro, we won 23 or 24 games to start the season. You were finished. Nobody was ready for that team. That team steamrolled the Prem. League was locked up by March. COVID hit, league shut down, and it was everybody was like, you can may as well close the season down because nobody are catching Liverpool.
I got Flawless over here talking about winning a 4-peat or whatever when he had to deal with the Invincibles. No, we're not going to do this whole revisionist.
Nah, it wasn't. No. You just no. I'm just using your logic against you, and you.
Okay, I'm using the logic, and now Barnes is going against my logic, but he was quiet when you were talking.
I'm just using your logic against you because what I was saying.
But he challenged.
You like to be bossy about the 4-peat.
But Pops, you see,
he likes to be bossy about 4-peats. We would have had 2 of them without injuries.
No, hey Barnes, talk to him.
We would have had 2 of them without injuries.
We could have had multiple trebles if we weren't banned from Europe. What are we doing?
There we go.
We were the best team in Europe in the 80s.
Fortunate for the ban.
Yes,
I'll be the first to agree.
No, we weren't unfortunate because the ban was deserved.
The ban was deserved, but like in regards to but unfortunate in regards from a Liverpool fan
perspective, the timing of it,
deserved that. Yeah. So we could all do that.
No,
you talk about 4-peat. We would have had
a
couple of those. What are we doing?
If there was no ban, the Premiership would have started earlier.
Oh no, we had injuries.
Like I United.
Sorry, Pops. So you say that again?
Yeah.
I was just saying if there was no ban, right, the Premiership would have started earlier in my mind anyway. Just the direction that we were going, we were one of the dominant forces in Europe. It would have brought more players to the league anyway. The Premiership starts earlier. We're at the jump-off point before you. It makes the 90s, 2000s a totally different era. Maybe it's more of a fight between us than it was just you running the gauntlet. But it's if buts and maybes, man. That's how it works. So that's the unfortunate truth.
All this is how we end up here just to defend Arteta is crazy.
No one's defending Arteta.
You know what I'm saying? All this because I'm just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Like the one against Blackburn Rovers without injuries, we win that. The first one that Arsenal won, we would have won that. You probably would have won. No.
We're the only club. It was destined. You were not winning a 4-peat. You weren't built for it.
Without injuries, we were.
No, you weren't ready.
You know what I'm saying? Held it together. If Arteta can use it as injuries excuse, why can't I? And we had a better side.
Your fan base weren't deserving of it.
Miles better. What are we talking about here? We had a manager clear of Arteta, and that squad, all those squads were clear of
football one. You guys not winning a 4-peat.
Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Now it's excuses. See how it changes people. When this is boy Arteta, injuries is okay. Injuries is okay when it's your guy. I'm not making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we would have won. Wait,
I'm not making excuses. I'm pointing out that the fall off.
We would have probably won 9-10 in a row.
Stop this nonsense.
Without injuries, we would have. Without injuries, we would have won 9 in a row.
Nah.
Why would we have not?
Because it's more than injuries.
Why is it more than what? You don't even know who was in that Blackburn team. What we talking about?
No, but there's also a drive. After winning so many, you don't.
The drive was there. It's just that the driving forces was missing because we had key players who were injured, like our captain.
But you know to be able to play through.
So you're telling me our captain isn't worth 2-3 points?
I'm telling you,
our captain got injured in one of them seasons, the Blackburn Rovers season. I think he did his crucial. I could be wrong. The 97-98 season. Keane got a bad injury. He was our captain at the time.
Okay.
So we probably and we only a few points off Arsenal that season. So we probably would have won 9-10 in a row. And then the Blackburn Rovers season, they actually unfairly banned. I think it was when that was not only did we get injuries, they unfairly banned Eric for kicking the fan. So you add those two things in, hey, guess what? Maybe we win.
I mean, unfairly.
Yeah, of course. You shout racist abuse, you deserve a punch in the face.
No.
Of course you do. Why don't you?
Don't.
Just because you're in the stand don't mean nothing. If you shout racist abuse, you get kicked in your chest, it's your fault.
A man's gonna say words to me, and then I'm gonna resort to hitting him.
Not everyone's.
Why don't I use my own cuss words and cuss him out? And
his English isn't too good. His English ain't too good now.
Cuss him back in whatever language he speaks.
No. You know what I'm saying? No, his English isn't too good. I'm talking about Cantona's English wasn't too good.
Then how did he know he's being cussed out?
His English weren't too good then. Because what's the first thing in all languages? What's the first thing you learn?
Racial abuse.
Wait. Get me wrong. All languages, wait. In all languages, what's the first thing you learn normally? The curse words. Come on, man. What we do?
Yeah. Possibly.
It's not possibly. It's 99.9% of the time.
I was raised differently. I was raised in a church. So those are my first words.
The point that I'm making is, see how injuries is an excuse for Arteta, but when it comes
Barnes,
to
why are you shaking your head? Don't do that.
Injuries ain't an excuse. You know what I'm saying?
If we're gonna do that, we would have had the 5-peat then. We would have the 5-peat. We would beat both of you. So
5-peat.
All right, guys, let's not do this.
There we go. No, because we can take it. If you want to use the excuses as an injury for Arteta,
I'm not using excuses. I'm just pointing out. No,
so I'm just pointing it out too. Then I'm just pointing it out too that we would have won 10 in a row.
No, see, this is the difference. I'm not saying that he would.
We won 8.
You're doing too much. You're saying you would have. I'm saying
we 7 in first 10.
Wait, listen, Vader. Based on your arguments, right? He won
only 95 and 98. We didn't win from 92, so we would have won both of them.
He won an FA Cup and didn't spend no money. He spent $750 million, 5 seasons, won 0 trophies, won nothing else. You honestly are going to give him more money this summer to try and go again, to spend more money and do what? Bring in another centre back. Bring in another defensive midfielder when you still have not addressed your strikers or your wingers.
See, but Barnes, hold on. If Partey happens to leave, they are going to have to get another midfielder.
But you got to get a striker first.
No, you can do 2 things at once.
No, I'm not Arteta.
Well, possibly. I don't think that he should be responsible for the
all this for Veta not to pick him to win the league next season is going to be hilarious when we do the preseason prediction. Sorry, go on.
I back my team.
That's
why.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
He's destined for the sack because Pep's going to win the league next season.
Yeah, because you picking Pep to win the league next season, right, Vale?
Yeah, but if Arteta wins one of the domestics, I don't think you should sack him.
Which domestic?
What do you mean?
Domestic.
Carragher was just telling me that the League Cup is more important than the FA Cup.
Carragher, yeah? So you paying attention?
I'm speaking amongst Liverpool fans, but I thought it would be relevant.
Oh yeah, League Cup's huge, but I don't think 900. I don't think
it's relevant for us. Not
whoa.
Oh,
it means more for you guys. It means more.
I'm just saying 900 million in the Carabao Cup. The show is crazy.
10.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
We've got 10. They don't have any. They don't care. That's what they say. That's what. Listen to me. My words. We've got.
If he wins a trophy that they
Arsenal
haven't
fans
won before,
say they're not interested.
The Arsenal
fans say they're not interested.
I think they're past that point of domestics.
winning the League Cup is not saving his job.
No. You're not past domestics. I'm saying past domestics for him and what they've got going on.
No.
Okay, 900. Okay, so to you again, this is the difference. 900 million spent because they're going to spend money in the summer. So let's say they spend 200 more million.
They have to spend every year.
So they're 900 million deep. Carabao Cup isn't sufficient for me.
So you got to start somewhere.
Okay, to you again. That's the city. That's the city fan in you talking. I'm not.
We won 4. Pep won us 4 in a row. That was our trophy.
No. I'm talking about Arsenal at 900. Ask this anybody.
That's what it means. That's what it means something to me. We've done that. They don't.
No, it should mean
they don't.
Regardless of how the fans talk about it.
No,
I'm just saying he shouldn't keep his job.
They don't.
If he wins a domestic,
he's got to build a better squad.
No way.
Listen,
900 million. You spent close to $1 billion, and you bring me a Carabao Cup. How are you taking the piss,
guys? Can we stop with this?
You better bring both.
No, hold on.
He better bring both.
Wait. Please, let's try and do this moving forward. All right. I know it's unique because it's FSG and Liverpool, and they don't spend every year. But let's try and be fair. Clubs have to spend every summer. The fact that he's been at the club for 5 years, the club is spending every summer. So I'm not going to then reset the fact that United, who get a manager every other 2 years, they're going to reset the clock and be like, okay, this is 100 million under Amrin or what. It's from the date on because you're buying players for the club, not necessarily for only that manager. So Arteta
agreed. Okay.
What do you mean that's incorrect?
My club's been buying for managers for the past however many years now. Your club does it right. My club buys for managers.
Hold on.
It could change now.
Can you name me all the players that were bought for managers that have been there?
Everyone
Who's been there? The manager before Ollie, was that Mourinho?
Yes.
How many players from Mourinho's era are still over at United?
Dalot.
Luke Shaw. Rashford's on loan.
No, Luke Shaw's not him, and Rashford's not him either.
No, Rashford came through. Remember,
Rashford and Luke Shaw are not him.
What do you mean not him?
Dalot. Rashford wasn't. Van Gaal gave Rashford his name.
Was Van Gaal.
Oh, even older. Okay, so my point is, you talk about players that are brought in for the manager when you still have players that have been there before.
Oh yeah, but
you don't get a full squad of players just for that manager. Okay,
no, you don't. But that's where we've been going wrong. But we're gonna go off topic. But go on. That's why because we don't buy for the club is the point I'm making. We buy for managers, and that's to our detriment.
I happen to disagree. If there's players that have been there for many years and for many managers, the fact
go back to Ten Hag though, Vader.
Huh?
Just go back to Ten Hag.
Yeah, go back to Ten Hag. It's incompetence.
You think
okay? So let me ask you honestly. You think Manchester United actually buy for the club? You think we buy? I bought. Take out this summer because it's a new ownership. Yeah. Previous. Okay, so what's our style then?
Why are we going to talk about style?
Oh, now you don't know.
No, style can change. You can change styles with the same players because
so what styles have we changed?
Sorry, Flawless. If I understand correctly, I believe Bruno Fernandes was actually contract extended before Erik ten Hag was actually signed at your club. So is that a player for the manager or no? What?
Right, that's incorrect. But Bruno was signed after the manager re-signed.
Bruno's contract extension was signed
after.
Okay, so you happen to believe that a player that was there before Erik ten Hag is now contract extended for the manager or for the club? Because he was there before the manager and he's staying on.
For the club. Yeah, for the club. You're just talking about the incompetence of Manchester United and pointing out all the issues we have and all the reasons why I don't like our board. So thank you with this conversation. Because you can't even tell me what style we are, which tells me all I need to know. And then you try to flip it and go, well, you can change styles. So tell me what styles we changed from. Don't worry, we go on that.
Well, I believe under Ollie, you played a counter style. There wasn't there wasn't much of a hold possession. It was more of a direct counter style with Ollie. Under Eric Ten Hag, what he tried to do the first year to what he tried to do the second year, I can't give you a style. He was all over the place, to be honest with you.
I can tell you what he did. So he was,
you know Eric Ten Hag style.
You know what he was attempting to do. Yeah. Okay. And this ties back into my point of signing players for the manager rather than an actual style. Because he was in the last season that he had, he's then going for this transitional, trying to do this kick and run thing, and then sign players who don't fit. Like signing Mount, like
Casemiro's not an Eric Ten Hag signing.
No, I think it's documented that he wasn't a fan of him, to be honest. He wanted De Jong.
So when I say I believe your clubs bought players for the club,
the odd one, yes.
Me on that
you can't name, yes, because it's the odd one, yes. Out of all the players we signed, yes. You can't name another one. Don't worry, I'll wait.
So wait, when I mentioned Bruno, you said you agree or
Bruno
disagree?
Wasn't signed. No, Bruno in regards to what the signing of Bruno. Who was Bruno signed under?
Ollie.
Okay, yeah.
And then they got a contract extension under Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a club
manager liked, because the manager liked him, and so did the club.
Okay, so we got Bruno. Bruno, who's arguably your best player this year.
Bruno's not our best player this year. That's incorrect.
Oh, sorry. Who is your best player?
Strong myth. Maserati. Clearly. Again, you and Troops don't watch us week in, week out in the shows, but we move.
I watch.
Yeah, I know you don't watch us week in, week out. I know, because that's why you say that dumb shit. I know. You know what I'm saying? It's cool though.
Is he your captain?
Yes.
Is he not one of your better players? Maybe not your best player.
No, it's changed. No, he's one of our best. No, he's not
like
one
you
of our
said,
best.
I don't watch you like that. So if I don't,
he's not one of our better players. No, to answer your question, no. We have multiple players who are better. Maserati's better. De Ligt is better. Ahmad's better. Xerxes better. Agate's better.
Okay.
List goes on.
All those players are better than Bruno.
Yeah.
All those players are better than Bruno.
He's getting the numbers.
All the players can do it. I can keep going if you'd like.
No. That's cool. All those players are better than Bruno. I hear it. Yeah. Now, you're telling me that your club has been ran getting players for the manager, not for the club. I happen to see it differently. But you're also probably looking.
How come under Ten Hag we hired a whole heap of we signed a whole heap of players who we'd managed before?
Okay, that's not uncommon.
No, it's very no. That is for us because we've never done that before.
It's uncommon for United, but is it uncommon for?
My point is, we've never done that before. So that's the point that I'm making. We signed Mourinho players. All the players Mourinho got brought in under Mourinho wanted. We didn't sign for the club. We signed for Mourinho. Same with Van Gaal. We signed for Van Gaal. Same with Ten Hag. We signed for Ten Hag.
Okay. Now, if you're signing players for those managers and some of those players have remained here.
Yeah. Stinks of incompetence. That's why we are where we are.
So because players have remained there, they weren't good players to remain at the club. They should have been out and you should have gotten players for
what have I said to you consistently, Veta, for the past since we started working together?
So that's what you want. Every time you get a new manager, you want new players.
No, again, it's not you're mixing two arguments, and that's why Pops is shaking his head. It's not about the new manager.
I'm asking for clarity. That's why
I want the players gone, regardless of the manager, because the players are not good enough.
Okay,
it's nothing to do. I've said this.
Okay.
Despite Amorim, forget Amorim.
Yeah.
Forget we could sack Amorim today, and we don't know who the next manager is.
Yeah.
I still want these players gone.
Okay.
Because the players are not good enough.
Okay, you want all these players gone.
The vast majority, yes.
Yeah, you mentioned many of them that happen to be better than Bruno, right? Yes. How many of these players that you want remaining when Amorim
the new signings and the youngsters, Ahmad and Maynard.
Oh, the new toys. Everything that's new you want to keep because you have
I want to give them
enough of them being back. Sorry?
Yeah, I know I want to give them a chance and they played well. Maz has been our best player this season. De Ligt's arguably been our second best player this season. Yoro, we'll see. Agate has his uses because I know about Agate, and Xerxes been decent. So
Okay.
3 out of the 5, I'm like convinced on. More so because you like to say, I like to give it time. I like to be balanced. I'm the same. I'm not gonna write you off after one season unless you're horrendous. You gotta be like Mason.
No. I no. That you're fair on.
Yeah.
Turning on a player after 2 years and then being like they're not good
I don't
enough.
turn on nobody. I either rate you or I don't. You show me like
Well,
what it
yeah,
is.
we'll see what happens when we do the
We'll see.
crossover next year, and whether these players are rating now, you're gonna rate next year. We'll see.
It depends if they keep playing. Like if Maz keeps playing at the level he's playing at, no issues. Same way with Delit. Yaro got to improve. Agate, if he keeps playing at the level he's at, cool. Xerxes, got to see where he's at. So it's not a new toy thing. It's more so a fair chance. Also, you conveniently didn't mention Amad or Meno, but it don't fit your narrative. I hear that.
Wait, those aren't signings?
No, again, because you don't be paying attention to what I'm saying. I literally said I would tell everybody by the new signings, Amad and Meno are the youngsters.
Yes, again, everything that's relatively new, everything that again, the breakout. It's a breakout season for Dallo.
Yes, because I know what the older players are giving me, which is rubbish.
Yeah. And Menu's second season, I would again say
Meno had a good first season where I go.
Last year.
Yeah, Ahmad's not new. He's been here a long time.
But he's getting his shot. He wasn't really given a shot.
But even when he got his shot previously, I wanted him to get more of a shot.
Okay, all right.
When 3-4 years ago, he played under Ollie.
Everyone that hasn't really played that much or is new,
because our club has been shocking for years. So why would I want those players to stay?
I get it.
But again, these are players you backed, but we move.
I back all the bad players. Is that what I did?
No, you back plenty of players here. Rashford, back Ten Hag.
Rashford's looking good over at Aston Villa.
Arteta.
Aston Villa, yes. Cool. Anthony looks great at Real Betis. Cool.
Is it
Grealish looked fantastic at Villa. How did he perform for you, look?
You were just telling me that he delivered me a trouble in a 4-piece.
No, and he helped deliver that, but you don't rate him. Why don't you rate him at your point?
Because of the price tag. I think he should have.
And did he perform better at Villa or better for you?
He performed better at Villa, but he also had a different role at Villa.
Oh, that's my point. Rashford got a different role at Villa too.
What's his role over at Villa?
I thought you watch him.
I'm asking for clarity.
What's his role? Watch him. Now, if you watch him,
no, don't do that, Flawless. No.
Don't do what? You listen. You said
listen. I'm not pressing you. I'm not pressing you.
You said verbatim that he's performing at Villa.
I just asked the man a question.
No. You don't have to ask me a question.
That's a conversation for another day.
All right. Okay. You know what?
You said it yourself. Hey, you two.
We'll revisit this.
Did he not say he's performing at Villa? Or am I mistaken saying? So you should know where he's playing if he's performing at Villa.
He's performing at Villa.
So what role is he playing? So where's he playing at Villa?
He's playing on the left side.
Okay. And where does he play? And where does he play for us in this system?
He couldn't find his role in this system. No, he couldn't find his place in the system.
No, he played, but where was he tried then?
I don't know. You tell me.
You don't exactly. You don't know. So
tell me.
If you don't know, then it don't matter, innit? If you don't know,
I don't know. I want to know. Tell me.
You should know. You should have done your research before we got into this debate.
My research is asking you as the United expert.
I'm your research team now.
Absolutely. I tuned into your channel to do research often. No,
you would have heard me talk about this then, but he's not a striker and he's not a 10.
I can't.
I'll let you know. No, I'll let you know now. He's not a striker and he's not a 10 because we don't play with wingers.
He's not a striker. He's not a 10. No, so he didn't have a role there.
No, we tried him in those two positions. It just didn't work.
Yeah, so look, it didn't work. So he didn't have a role to play like he's now playing over at Villa.
Facts. Yeah, the formation don't suit him. But even as a left winger, he's not all that. Because he ain't even done all that at Villa. Because his bad performances, people don't talk about. I've been watching Villa a lot since he's been there. Because you get people like you and others who talk.
No, he has been good. No, I'm not going to say
no.
He has been good.
He's not been good. He's had a couple good games. He's had some bad ones. People won't talk about him getting taken off against Club Brugge because you didn't watch that. I know you didn't watch that. First time you're hearing about it is me telling you. I'm your research team. Remember?
No, but the point is he not playing better than what he was at United?
It's not tough to do that. Doesn't mean you're playing well just because you're playing better.
All right, but you get offended like I'm taking a shot when I say he's playing better at Villa.
I'm adding context to it. Just because you're performing better doesn't mean you're playing well. If you're performing 1 out of 2 out of 10 somewhere, and then you go somewhere and perform 4 out of 5, you're still performing 4 out of 5. That's still average.
Yeah, but it's still double
So this
double
thing,
the
'cause the
input.
point you
It's
was
still
making is,
double
oh,
the
he was
input.
cooking over there.
Using your
Yeah.
analogy, he's double the player that he was over at United.
Well, yes. And that
Okay.
tells you the level of where I think he's at.
All right,
That
but it
4 out
also
of 5
shows
is
that
the
he's
double.
not. It also shows that what he was doing at United is way worse than what he's doing at Villa.
I agree with that.
Okay, so what I want to emphasize when we talk about players and managers and styles, because we were
See, I
talking
have to
about
put up
styles for a minute. What's that?
What? I said, see what I have to put up with. I was talking to those two. You two, I'm gonna out.
What do you mean you have to put up with when I'm here and I'm asking a question? What man
How
wants
am I-
to
how-
you just digging yourself a hole,
Yeah,
man. You
how
just dig-
am I part of your research team and then you're telling me what it is? It's one or the other. I'm either your research or you doing your own research.
No. See, okay, now we're gonna be very balanced. If I happen to
I don't, and just to clarify, because my nephew in the chat, I don't think he's been bad at Villa. I'm just saying that I don't think he's been great at Villa. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't say that either. I said he's playing well over Villa.
No, he's not. That's why I disagree. I don't think he's playing well. I think he's doing decent. He's been bright.
Okay.
He's ran around. He's showing energy.
Okay.
He went past a couple, like one of the cameo appearances. He went past the man and everyone gassed it up. It's like, all right, cool. I get it.
All right. No, that's fair. But listen,
because Manchester United is the big bad wolf where everyone fails. I get it, man. You should go to a small club like City where there's no pressure.
No, it's toxic over there. It's toxic. But listen. Flawless's nephew in the chat. Everybody in the chat. This is when I happen to watch a game. Maybe I don't catch the full 90 minutes. Maybe I don't catch both home and away when you guys are when games are being played in Champions League or Europa. If I happen to be on the panel, I'm like, yo, Flawless. Well, what is it? Tell me. I'm not going to have the complete research. I want to bounce information off you, and you bounce off information off me. But when I asked you the question, you were like, "Oh, now you're my research." Sometimes I want some clarity because I don't want.
You told me you told me he's playing well over there. So
the games I've seen, he's played well.
Okay, so
you want to say he's not well. You want my use of well. You say no. You want to say decent. I'll be okay. You say decent.
He's been better than Doku. I give you that. He's performed better than Doku.
Now you want to take it to Doku. All right.
But hey, Barnes, we gotta close out. You lot, this is the United City show all along. This guy on some joke thing. But yeah, Pops, anything you want to add before we close out?
Oh good, man. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up everybody.
Yo, people hitting like butter, man. Big up to everyone. Great show.
Links are in the title, people. Beige and Reds TV. Hey, Barnes, let them know what you got coming up over the rest of the international break, and then once the Premier League resumes. Anything once the Premier League resumes?
No, we ain't got nothing coming up. Just keep the notification bell, and you'll see when we pop up something. But right now, nothing on the schedule.
And big up to Steve for the raid as well, man. And yeah, they just got an inkling. This is what this guy's like. Try to tell me I'm research and then tell me what I know. All right. Bayer, let them know where they can find you, you joke, man.
Listen. I don't know why this man got all upset with this. Listen, tune into the channel, Raider Games TV. If I happen to say one thing, I want to bring my point and then ask Flawless for his opinion and get some research from his side. That's what I'm gonna do. The same way I enjoyed today's crossover talking to Barnes and Pops. Yes,
there's
I have my perspective.
The role he plays is the role he plays. You don't have to research that.
No, the research is knowing how he played at your club.
No.
How he was used.
Yeah, all that. Don't change the words. I'm gonna get to it side of super chat. You said what role is he playing at Villa?
No,
that's exactly what you said.
It's going.
My point was
exactly what you said. No. You said verbatim. What role is he playing at Villa? That's not no research. Because if you've watched him and I've watched him, he either plays goalkeeper or he don't play goalkeeper.
No.
He plays DM or DM or right wing or right wing.
What position? No, hold on.
What position?
Let's not do this. Let me talk to my gamers in the chat. I know you guys got to go, but let me talk to my gamers. All right, because my gamers know this. You got positions, and then you can go into your EAFC and then assign instructions and roles. So when I was asking what's his role over at Aston Villa, it wasn't positional play. I know he's an attacking player.
His role's the same as always is that left winger. What else can Rashford do apart from kick and run?
Okay, but you can ask the winger.
What else so I'll ask you, what else does Rashford do apart from kick and run?
What he can do and what he has done be two different things.
So what can he do? So what do you think he can do? What does he have in his locker?
The manager could have asked him, which I've criticized Rashford on doing, and not being present defensively, not tracking back, not being part of the organized defensive side.
Yes.
being
See
a little
both
too
ways,
lax. I've
He does
also seen him maybe, okay, you know what? You're assigned similar to a Salah role. All right, at times, you know what? Make sure you stay wide and high because you're going to be the outlet. So when we talk about different instructions for different players, this is why I asked the question, because maybe you saw something different than I was seeing, and we could have a conversation.
There's
You
nothing.
got mad offended. Maybe it's a late night. I know.
Not no late night. We ain't
so-
seen nothing different. We've seen the same thing. It's
Okay,
Rashford.
all
He
right.
does
So
the same thing.
let's compare notes. All right, we
There's
saw the
no
same
need to-
movie.
there's no
We saw
need to
the same
compare
show.
them.
We
There's
read the
no-
same book. Let's
there's no
compare
need-
notes and see if
There's
we're on
no
the same
need to
page.
compare notes because it's the same shit.
All right,
It's the
all right.
same thing.
Guess what?
Rashford does
Everybody in the
same thing.
chat,
Wait,
Flawless's
wait.
nephew,
Rashford does-
everybody in the chat. I will not ask Flawless for any more research material or information.
No,
either,
not with what
right?
role did he do?
Okay,
Not
well,
with
we're
Rashford.
done. We're done. I won't ask you
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
I
Don't
won't
ask me about that.
Now,
What
you
role did
concluded.
Rashford? What role did Rashford do at Villa? The same role. He does everything.
All right.
So we
See
talking
ball, chase ball, kick ball.
kickball.
Kick
And,
ball.
and he's double the player he is at Aston Villa than he was at United right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flawless's words. Flawless's
I agree
words.
with. He has
All right.
100%. He's
But-
been much better there than he has been here. 100%.
All right. Come on. We're
I'm trying to
wrap
get
up
my
here.
money, man.
We're
Run me my
trying
4
to wrap up the show. I know it's bad late.
Run me my
Listen,
4 a.m.s.
run
That was-
over, hit me up on YouTube, obviously Vader Games TV. Just do that quick
Yeah.
search. I'm gonna do my next show. I got to talk to 115. I think the 115 is dropping in the next week or two, and I know everyone's gonna be curious. Obviously, Barnes, if we're guilty, he wants the punishment. Pops is kind of like, we'll see what happens. If they're guilty, they're guilty. Punish them. Flawless.
I come in with grenades.
Listen, no, it's gonna. The conversation is gonna be good. Hey, if it happens to be a slap on the wrist because I didn't do anything, Barnes, if I didn't do anything major in terms of cooking books, I'm going to be looking for some apologies. If I did do something wrong, if I did cook the books, if I did push things a little too far, which Flawless is actually asking his club to do, he's like, hey, cheat, go get me those wins. If I happen to do something like that, I'm gonna throw myself at the foot of the court. I'm gonna say, I deserve this punishment. I was wrong to do it, and I'm gonna take that. That's what I'm gonna do. But I hope my club has not done that. And let's move.
Just because it's late, that's what it is. Vader think he gonna try me because it's late. It's like, no, Dakota, he's not. Love to Dakota every single time. He thinks he gonna try me because it's late. It's like, no. I know it's nearly 10 to 4. It's nearly 4 a.m. You ain't gonna get me 4 a.m., 4 p.m. It don't matter what time zone. You ain't gonna get me with this nonsense.
Listen, I know Flawless's phone blows up once this show's done. He's got some honey that he's gonna link up with, so I know he's ready. Wide awake already. Yeah. Don't play that. Don't play that.
I'm going to sleep, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I wish you was right, but I'm going
what's
to sleep.
LFC got to say? What's LFC?
It's big upside for the super chat, says Vader. I said, actually, Barnes Pops, if you might need to dip, because I know it's late, feel free to dip as well, man. No worries, man. You lot, make sure you subscribe to Beijing Reds TV as well. Vader, you said Liverpool must be happy with one title in 4 years. That means, are you happy with City not winning a title the next 2 years? Because City won the 4P. So if you don't win the league the next 2 years, I think he answered this. Did you say some rubbish about his content?
Okay.
No, now it's rubbish. Now it's
yeah,
rubbish.
Of course it's rubbish.
Okay.
Of course it's rubbish.
I'm a man that's starved before. I'm a man that's had to live out of my car, to use an analogy. So if I understand that I'm going to have a few dips, but I'm going to also get to the top of the mountain and I got to wait 2, 3 years, 4 years to do it. Yeah. Yes.
Crazy. None of the managers, you know what's crazy? None of the managers in the league you think are anywhere near Pep, but it's okay for Pep to lose to them. Make it make sense.
No, we're talking. No, remember, this is
The
with
next
Pep
2 years.
leaving.
So okay, no. Pep's gonna be here the next 2 years.
Yeah, I think
So-
I'm going to be competing the next 2 years.
No, forget competing. Answer the question that he asked. If you don't win the league for the next 2 years, are you cool with that?
He said yes before.
Yeah,
Can't take it
I am
back.
cool with that.
Okay, cool. So you're cool with losing to a manager who's nowhere near the caliber of your manager.
Well, if I lose to a manager that's not at the caliber of my managers because they've made a team better to beat my team, because I believe my manager with a better team beats everybody. So if my manager happens to lose, I think a better team beat me.
So,
I'm calm with that. I've
you cool.
competed. I know what it means. That's
So
why I
Pep-
don't stress out.
So Pep can't get a team performing to that level. All right, cool. First.
What are we doing? See, why do you do
Pep
that
bereft
extra
of
add-on
confidence.
spice?
No, that's what you're saying. You're alleviating Pep of it. You're saying if Pep wins, or hail Pep. If he loses, it's not his fault.
No,
That's what you just said.
No, it's not about a matter of fault. It's a matter.
Of
It's a
course
matter
it
of.
is.
No, it's not. It's a matter of understanding competition.
It is,
Well,
but also-
my manager can lose. Look, hold on. See,
Go on.
I'm gonna ask this to
3
Barnes
years
and
straight.
Pop. 3 years.
Go on, ask them a question. Because
I
if
don't
you don't
believe
win the league in the next 2 years, it'd be 3 years without.
Yes, but I don't believe it would be to the same manager 3 years in a row.
Well, even if it's okay, let's say it's separate. There's no manager you think that's on his level.
But like I said, it's not just the manager; it's about the team, and it's also going to be a manager of what my team has to deal with, whether it's injuries, whether it's again the fact
injuries with all that money you spend. And we talking injuries
again. We all spend money. We all spend money. But when it comes down to competing, if I happen to lose to the Bayesian crew because they were able to strengthen up and have Slot do his thing this year, I'm gonna take that. They're better than me.
But
if next season we're now competing and I happen to lose on a final day 1 point and they happen to win it back to back, I'm gonna understand the context of that competition. I'm not gonna crash out. I'm not gonna lose my mind. Again, I'm not saying this to you guys, but I'm not going to be that spoiled one to be like, we deserve this. This is ours. There's no right to it.
No, there's no deserve.
We compete for it, and I'm not going to absolve my manager of it, but I'm also going to understand, you know what? They were better than us this year.
So you're cool losing to a manager 2 years in a row who's nowhere near the caliber of your manager. Cool.
What would say he's not at the caliber?
You don't think Slot's near Pep? What are we talking about?
Yes, but if he happens to beat my manager, and he happens to have, again, if they actually have Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent and Allison, and they're able to beat my squad that would have an exit of Bernardo, KDB, and I'm also if I have an exit of these players, I'm going to be like, yo, I get it. They're better than me right now.
Okay.
And I accept that we will have to get better next season.
Or if you sign players in and then win and beat that same team, then it's all hail Pep.
It's hail Pep and the players. I give credit to both.
Okay, you get both, but if you fail, it's the Pep's not.
If I fail, I give credit to.
Okay.
If I fail, I give credit to Pep competing and not getting it done, and the players not be able to get it done. I don't understand competitions.
I'm just saying, Pep. I'm just saying what it sounds. Not even what it sounds like. What it is that Pep's berate. There's no blame on Pep on your behalf. If you win, it's because Pep and the players are great. If you beat this squad, if you fail, it's because they're better. It's because their squad's better. Blame the players, but Pep's cool. It's like
we've won a season where we weren't great. We've also
because won a season when we weren't great. It was your boy Arteta that they played. That's why. So of course you didn't have to be great to beat them. It was your guy Arteta.
When you guys were second, we weren't great. When Ollie finished second, we weren't great.
And again, another one of your boys. You see a common theme here.
No, but we weren't great. No, but see, you're moving the conversation.
I'm not moving the conversation.
No, the fact that Ollie's my boy.
It's two people you backed. That is, you didn't have to be great to win the league. You see that? There's a common theme there.
No, listen.
You backed Ollie and you backed Arteta. Two managers you didn't have to be great against to win the league. But
everybody in the chat, when this man wants to use that I backed Ollie, I didn't back. I don't
use it. It's a fact. You did back Ollie. That's your guy.
Okay,
your boy.
Okay, did I back Ollie from when Rio was saying give him the contract? Yes.
We didn't know. I don't know. We didn't know each other at them times, so I don't know.
Okay, so
I'll take your word for that. You did.
Yeah. So if he was doing his thing, and it's like, yo, give this man a contract. He's earned it. You backed him. In my opinion, he's earned it.
Period as well. Yeah, but like when he was going through his shit period, I know you was backing him.
When he was going through his crap period,
yes,
and he happened to lose his job, and you got an interim in terms of Ragnick. Right, you got Ragnick before you got Ten Hag.
What's this got to do with Ragnick? I'm just talking about you backing a manager through a
because you backed him. You backed Ten Hag. What are we gonna do here?
Yeah, I did back Ten Hag up until a point,
and I backed Ollie up until so we can do this all day.
You backed him.
No.
When did you say he wasn't good enough?
Now you're getting research for me. Now you want to ask me questions?
Of course.
Now see how it's now come around. Now he's want to ask me questions.
I want to ask you when you turned.
When it was time for Ollie to go.
You two guys, man.
No, I'm just saying.
This guy thinks he can bullshit a bullshitter. It's like this is not the case.
I'm not trying to do any of that.
Like it's just interesting that the two managers you backed, you didn't have to be great against to win the league. I'm just saying that's an interesting concept. That's all.
Well, no.
You back Ten Hag, you back Arteta, like I say, you back all these bummy managers. That's all. These managers that don't win major honors, but hey, we move. I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna say this real quick.
Read the next super chat, man. Read the next.
Oh, is there another super chat? Yeah. Get to
there's another super chat. Oh, this because you just want to, because all of that simply because Pep's no blame to him if they don't win the league. Don't big upside for the second super chat. Don't tell me Klopp's departure because of bum Mikel. Klopp spent 850 million in 9 years and won every trophy. This bum manager spent 750 million in 5 years, 1-0. Thoughts on that? Same that you.
Nah, he can back him. He can back him. He can
Of
back
course, he
him.
gonna back him. Same way he backed Ten Hag. Same way he backed Tolly. Yeah, the same difference.
No, okay. Here's what I'm gonna be really balanced. LFC.
No, you are not.
No,
balanced.
I am. I'm gonna be very balanced. LSC. Listen, if Arteta, within his 750, which is outlined here.
If you was a valiant effort in the competition.
No. Hear me out.
I'm here. You out. Go on.
If Arteta within his 750 was able to sign similar to what Klopp did with his 850, but within Arteta's 750 happened to be a Salah, happened to be because again, Klopp didn't sign him. Klopp did not sign these players. FSG did. So
no, he didn't. Wrong.
What?
Absolutely wrong.
Whoa. No.
Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp signed Mohamed Salah. They signed Sadio Mane. They signed Bobby Firmino. That was all those guys, not FSG.
But they agreed.
Klopp did not want Salah.
No, he did not. He wanted someone else. Edwards convinced him to bring Salah.
Okay.
And he went away.
So when I say
FSG.
Julian Brandt,
it wasn't FSG. It was Michael.
Wait. When we say
Michael
Edwards,
Edwards.
no, but when we say Edwards, because Flawless loves to do this all the time. Who hired who?
Edwards
wants to tell me all the time. Who did the Blazers hire? Who did the Blazers hire? So who did FSG hire?
They hired Michael Edwards.
Okay, then. So when I give credit to FSG, I want to see Flawless nodding his head. Yeah, you're right.
We give them credit for the FSG appointment.
Okay.
No one's disputing that.
All right. Well, you were quiet when Barnes was then challenged me and say, no, don't do that. To mention,
I was like, because I didn't want to interrupt.
Now you don't want to interrupt. See, Flawless is interrupt when it's time to put pressure on me. I love it.
You ain't doing this.
Okay.
They signed the sporting director, but the sporting director's job to bring in the players. What the problem is that Arteta is the man that makes all the decisions, that he's the last say when it comes to Arsenal, and it's his fault that he go and give the bag to Chelsea for Kai Havertz and those type of players instead of going to get better players for the amount of money that he's spent. That's his fault. That's not nobody else's fault, but his fault.
No.
And what you like to do as well is just because I dislike an entity or ownership doesn't mean that they don't do good things. It's just that I think they do more bad than good. Same with any of FSG done good things at Liverpool. Yes. Yeah. But have they done more bad than good? Yes, I think they've done more. So therefore, bad ownership. Same way your ownership, I think, is a fantastic ownership. Have they made bad decisions? Yes, like signing Jeremy Doku. However, they do more good than bad. So therefore, good ownership.
I disagree.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Now,
we signed Andy Robertson from Hull City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was FSG, man. They was there looking at.
That was Edwards and Klopp.
FSG. That was FSG. They went down to Hull.
Now we're not going to get silly with it. If because you're getting silly with it. We know when I say FSG, I'm not going to call out the actual person that they hired. FSG are the owners. The Glazers are the owners. So they get the blame when they do something wrong. They should get the praise when they do something right. And can we be balanced with that? Okay.
Yeah, and they get the who doesn't praise them when they do something
okay. Right. So when I say that
when you was like, oh, look at you praise them and did it, they get credit.
No, I give them credit, but they're whatless. They're whatless as well.
It's just when you do more wrong than bad, you don't get fires for putting. You don't. If you do one good thing and then 9 bad things, I ain't gonna overly praise the one good thing.
Okay, well, we're doing too much here because I was pointing out the 750, the 750. If Arteta got the likes of a Salah, of a Van Dijk, you mentioned it for Firmino and Mane. You mentioned.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Let me finish in flow because you cut me off when I'm in flow because I'm making a point that's going to damage everything, and then you
you're making no point because you know what? You didn't buy a Salah, you didn't buy a Firmino. You went and bought a Calaflori, a Timber, a flipping Wells, ton of centre backs, flipping well Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus. You flipping well when I bought a whole bunch of washable players and they've done nothing. So whose fault is that? Arteta.
Okay.
Come again.
All right. But this is where if we're gonna talk
so don't
about,
say if he could have, because coulda, shoulda, woulda. He did it.
All right. Now, Klopp, FSG, Edwards.
Wrong with FSG. Klopp, Edwards. Let me go. Let me continue.
Okay. Arsenal haven't hired the Edwards. Right? They haven't gotten that Edwards. Edu is not Edwards. Yeah, they had Edu.
He's still the sporting director, ain't he?
Yeah, he is the sporting director.
But who made the final call?
Okay.
The final call is Kroenke's.
No. Wrong. The final call on all the transfers is Arteta.
He gets the final. He does get the final say so over there.
That's why he is the final say, Vader. So he has to hold the account. He has to be accountable for his actions.
Let me ask you, this is going to be a good one. Arteta goes into Liverpool the same time as Klopp, gets all the signings, goes up against all the same teams. Does he do better, worse, or the same in your opinion?
No, he'll do worse, but I don't think he does. He does as bad as Arsenal, as this current Arsenal, though. He'll do worse than what Klopp did, obviously, because Klopp.
I'll just make it sure. All right,
Klopp is top level, but I don't think he does eighth, fifth. I don't think he does that with that squad. But when we want to talk about ownership and what they're able to do, and Barnes is taking everything away from FSG, talking about them being what list and all that. Okay, I get that. But they still hired Edwards, they still hired Klopp. If the Kroenkes got it, because the Kroenkes should have final say. The Kroenkes hire who they hire. So they were wrong to give Arteta that power. I'll be the first to admit.
But don't Kroenkes, you mentioned it there, the Kroenkes hire those people to make those decisions because they're better than them. That's why they don't make the sporting. That's why they're not football directors.
So the fact that they don't have a sporting director, Edu's gone. The fact that they don't have an Edwards, I think they're wrong to do that. You don't give a manager learning on the job all that power.
Maybe you just don't hire a manager learning on the job when you're Arsenal Football Club. Maybe that's where it lies. Because no other serious club would do it.
Maybe you should have given.
No, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe don't hire a manager learning on the job.
Maybe.
Who would do that? Maybe you don't take a player who's just come straight out the under 16s and put him in the first team and expect him to ball out and win you a domestic title in the Champions League.
Listen, maybe. I'm gonna say this real quick. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Hit that like button, subscribe. All the listening platforms, make sure to do that. This is bonus. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This crossover is bonus. Don't get comfortable with it. Don't get accustomed to it. It's a one-off. Now, for this to happen in the future, a few things we're gonna have to talk behind the scenes and get this all proper, right? But I hope you enjoyed the show. Yo, it's always jokes when I'm in the chat catching you guys. It's been a pleasure to be on the show talking.
It's been great. It is. And to everyone in the chat, like, oh, yo, you and Vera. Yes, this is what me and Vera always like. If you lot don't have any brothers or any, when you spar with, like, this is what it's like. Plus, I'm United and he's City. So that just adds to it as well. Come on now. You lot know what it's like. But big up. Again, subscribe to Bayesian Reds TV, links in the title. Subscribe to Veta Games TV, links both in the title as well. Obviously, Veta already mentioned about the audio-only platform, so make sure you follow us on Spotify, Sarcasm City TV. Right, is Gunner still live? Jesus. All right, we go redirect over you lot to Gunner. I don't even know what Gunner's chatting about, but Gunner, I know Gunner over there talking. I don't know what he's on, but shout out to Gunner for Sarcasm City TV raid in his chat. And hey, don't act like you lot didn't like the show. To everybody's like, yo, this show and did. Yeah, it was Sai's fault, man. Blame Sai. You got a backstage segment. And yes,
I'm gonna have to apologize to wifey right now because I know I'm gonna be making noise.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you get for gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, 100%. Is acting like you don't do it to her? Like, this is the crazy part. I know your character. I know you.
Nah.
Oh, see, you just saved this just for the content creator space.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Real life Vader's different. Real life Vader.
Yeah, I'm sure if she watched the content, she'd be like, yeah, this looks familiar. But hey, we move. But yes. This is exactly what the United City show is like every week. Every week without fail, the show is like this. Because this guy will say some daftness. Oh, Rashford. She kept him some rubbish. All right, big up. Love to
I say Rashford, get out of there. Rashford, get out of there.
Run me my money.
Don't go back.
Fact. Run me my bread, man. But yes, people, this has been the crossover show. Manchester City, Manchester City Bayesian crossover show. Beta Games TV, Bayesian Reds TV, Barnes, Pops. You already know. Big up, love to everyone that's locked in. Big up, and again, put Sarcasm City TV raid in Gunners chat. Salute.